Hello everybody, we are back for the live stream here on Tabletop at UK Games Expo 2018. I am joined by Steve from Steve 4's Games. It is that time of the day. I have been running around like crazy. So, Steve, what have you brought along with you today to chat about?
So we can chat a bit about God Tier, which is something that we're showing on the Expo floor today.
I assume you've had to leave them out there?
Yes, unfortunately they are currently still being used for demos, so I couldn't bring them along here. But yeah, we're going to be demoing God Tier throughout the entire weekend and have been so far.
Yeah.
So for those who aren't aware, that's our new miniatures game. So it is 3 champions aside, fantasy setting. Essentially, the gods have died, and champions are trying to get God Tiers to ascend. And yeah, so we've got that. And then the other 2 things we've got to talk about are the Dark Route expansion for the original Dark Souls board game, and then we have the Forgotten Past, which is the new expansion for the card game.
I see. May I make the choice?
Yes.
I would like to start with the Dark Routes expansion because I love big minis. I love big minis, and the box for this, it's got such a lovely feel to it. Look at this. So the artwork, it is dark, it is creepy, it is exactly what you expect from Dark Souls, and you get quite a few minis in this to actually add to your adventures. So, what is the crux of this expansion? Is it for extra bits of the game, or is it just more monsters?
So essentially, it's more monsters and 2 new bosses as well.
Okay. Let's get a close look at the miniatures, shall we?
Yes. Where would you like to start?
Well, I say miniatures. I have one in my hand here. This is actually huge. What the hell?
So this is Great Wolf Sith. So he is, as you see, a fairly big wolf with a huge sword in his hand.
Yes. That is quite the monstrous monster.
And as you would expect, he is one of the new bosses within the game. If you're a Dark Souls fan, most people would recognize him. He's a very well-known boss within the first game.
I see.
So yeah, he's a super fun boss fight. I think the thing that most people remember him for is that towards the end, when he's like low on health, he starts to limp, which makes people very sad because they're all like, it's at that point they're like, oh, I'm killing a dog, he's really nice.
Don't kick the puppy.
Yeah, exactly. We've naturally simulated that within the board game as well.
Nice. I can very easily tell which our next boss is because of the base design you guys do, because of the 4 quadrants with the mechanics of the game. Who is this?
So this is Artorias. So he is essentially a knight that was corrupted by the Abyss. And he is essentially, you'll notice that his sword actually matches the one from Sith. So Sith essentially ends up taking up his sword and using it. You'll notice there's a bit of a size difference.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, that's actually a thing in the video game as well.
Well, if it's in the video game, nobody can complain.
Exactly.
We then have some very, very big guys here who are regular minions?
Yes, so these are regular minions. They're quite big and imposing, though.
They really are, especially with this huge... I'm not sure if this is meant to be a hammer, an axe, or what.
Combination of the 2, I think.
We then have another couple of these guys rocking around with big stone swords and shields. I'm guessing these are some form of animated statue?
Yes, exactly. So they are stone guardians from the Dark Route area.
And we get 2 of those. We also get 2 of these guys who are... Oh, that's spiky.
Yep, the demonic foliage.
I see. And I'm guessing this is now allowing us to explore new areas of the world?
Yes, exactly. So this is focused on Dark Route, which is a nice... I say nice. Scary forest within Dark Souls. There's nothing nice in Dark Souls.
I'm sorry, you said there's nothing nice. This little guy's cute. He wouldn't hurt me, would he? He might give me a hug.
You'd be surprised. He's got a mean left fist.
Oh, I love how cute he is. Just underneath the top of the mushroom, you've just got these 2 little cute eyes. He does not look threatening at all. I'm sure it's a deception. Of course, it's Dark Souls. It has to be a deception. We then have another couple of types of
like scarecrows here.
Yes, and so we've got these, which are running around with twin swords. Or is this
it's shears, yes.
Shears. Okay, that's a valid weapon choice.
Yeah.
And then we have the scarecrows with the more traditional pitchforks. And lastly, we have a smaller version of our little mushroom friend.
Yes, so this is the child to the parent you just saw. And this is the thing, when the child is threatened, the parent gets very, menacing.
Now I understand. I understand now. Oh, but you see... Whereas the other one's looking cute, this one's just looking a little bit disappointed. Just with the way the head's pointed. Yeah, it's just that, oh man, I wanted to play with the human.
Doesn't have a good parent figure to look up to.
Okay, so that's the miniatures from this. Are there any key mechanic changes or anything like that,
So,
or is it just adding more?
So it's just adding more treasure to the game, so you'll see some treasure cards as well, and then adding some new boss fights. It's one of those where the original 4, I think most people who are Dark Souls fans have played quite a lot of them now, so just getting these bosses out so that you have new bosses to fight and new enemies, just to bring a bit more variance into the game.
I see. All right, now on to Dark Souls, the card game. So what is this expansion going to do?
So this expansion is kind of similar to that in terms of that it adds some new bosses. So in fact, you will notice that we have Grey Wolf Sith is one of the bosses in this.
Ah, I see. So
bit
here
of cross promotion here.
Of course, why not? Well, it's one of those things, because you have access to such a strong IP, you want people in both game formats to be able to play all of the characters. So why would you not add the wolf?
Exactly. So we've got him, we've got the Asylum Demon.
Ooh, gimme.
Who is the very first boss in Dark Souls 1. He's one of those where you'll probably think, well, he's the first boss, how hard can he be? We've intentionally made him hard because Dark Souls.
Well, get good. And
yeah,
I was
exactly.
actually playing Dark Souls 1, this was the boss that actually stopped me playing the game. I'm going to admit that right now. This was the boss that stumped me. I couldn't figure him out. Could not win.
Okay, and then we have the Moonlight Butterfly, who
see.
looks very serene and angelic, but
that's lovely. You just want a little bit of harp music with this thing. It's going to be a wonderful evening.
And then it'll fire lots of magic at you, and you'll be very sad.
Oh, is this okay? I used to know a wizard like that in a D&D group.
Yeah.
He thought you could be healed by fire. This was not good. I'm sure I've already mentioned it to everybody.
And then we have finally the Bell Gargoyles. So you fight 2 of these at once.
What?
Yep. It's just like because that's what happens in the video game, of course.
All right, so we have number 1 and number 2. Are they both identical twins?
Yes, so they're pretty much identical. They have slightly differing stats.
Yeah,
but
Pack Hunter and Vanguard.
So essentially, the thing is, you begin the encounter with one of them, and then as the encounter develops, you fight the second one at the same time.
I see.
So those are the new bosses. We have new enemies coming. Then also there are 2 new player characters. So we have the Thief, who comes with his respective deck as well.
I love the artwork here. This is beautiful work, guys.
Yeah, this is all from Software. That is their concept art and so on. It is, as you can see, very nice.
Yeah, that's, again, it's such a strong IP that you have. You have access to resources upon resources that are just above and beyond, and just it feels exactly like it should, because it is what it should be.
Yeah, and then we have the Pyromancer.
Oh, fire wizards.
Yes,
we know how much I love those. So here he is here. Yep.
And so his whole thing is, as you would imagine, lots of fire damage and dealing lots of it and taking lots of stuff out.
Yeah, I've known 1 or 2 people with a little touch of pyromania.
So we got those 2 new characters, and then the other thing, so we got some more encounters, a few new enemies and some new treasure, but the other 2 new things in this expansion are some new mechanics. So the first one is we have the terrain decks. So essentially when you enter an encounter, you will certain encounters will have a terrain icon. You'll flip a card and it'll give you an effect for that encounter. So fog, for example, makes your ranged attacks cost 1 more stamina.
I see.
So, just more things for you to contend with.
I see. Then you've got things like treacherous footing. Each time a card is pushed in this encounter, the card suffers 1 damage.
Yeah, so against certain enemies that are pushing about, kind of nasty.
Yeah. You've got sweltering heat during this encounter. Whenever a character blocks, the character must spend an additional point. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I know how important resource management is in the Dark Souls card game.
Yep.
You evil, evil people. These are terrible for players. Oh my god, you're going to have to fight so hard. Wow.
We're only giving them what they want.
Well, I suppose that is the whole point of Dark Souls, is to make it a challenge, make you really feel like you've accomplished something once you've actually broken through it.
Yeah, exactly. So then the final mechanic is a trap deck. Now, these traps, so certain encounters will be trapped, and at this point what will happen is you will put some of these trap cards face down on certain spaces, so you won't know what's actually there. So some of them, you'll notice, just have no effect. You stand on the space, you flip it and go, oh, nothing happened. And then you stand on another one, and maybe there's a boulder trap, for example.
Well, this one's reading Shattered Foot. I'm guessing that's a bad day. You've got rock falls, you've got clockwork traps, abyss... What?
Abyss Energies.
Ooh, okay, that's not fun. Spike traps. We've got swinging blades.
Rollerball.
All right, this is the one you were on about then.
Yeah.
The player who triggered this trap must choose between sacrificing their next activation or suffering 5 damage. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna Indiana Jones this one and run. I love the way you guys are fit to actually do this, to actually expand it and make the game just be like it should, because that's what you really want. I'm not reading Poison Mist.
I wonder what that could do.
I wonder. Pitfalls, lucky escapes. So this is what you're on about, is where there's no effect. So I assume it's the traps maybe old, broken, just doesn't work anymore. Yeah,
exactly. So it's an idea of that you put them down on the board, and it's a case of you don't know whether that's going to be a bad trap. It might be fine, but that uncertainty sometimes can be more scary than the actual trap itself.
Well, having a look through this deck, is this the actual size of the deck?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say this, guys. There are very few lucky escapes in this deck compared to the horribleness, so be very careful of the traps. Oh my god.
And then finally you get another board, so essentially you've got another double-sided board with different routes designed for each of the bosses.
I see. See, I love the way you guys do this, and having that sort of shadowed artwork in the background, it makes it feel creepy, it makes it have that sense that you really want from this game.
Yeah.
I am always happy to see you guys and always happy to see this. Now, just a quick thing for everybody at home.
Yeah.
Where are you guys located in the halls if they want to come along and demo any of the games you guys have with you? Hall 1.
Yeah, it's Hall 1. It's, I think, E10. You've asked me this at the end of the day, and like you, I'm kind of tired as well. So I think it's E10.
Yeah, well, I suppose you've been running demo games the entire day as well.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I realised I don't have to remember. There is a big sign that says SFG that is hung up there. So just go towards that sign, you'll find us.
So walk in, hall number 1, that's the lower one. Look up, and to your left, and it should be right there for you. Any other exciting things happening with the guys over at Steamforge? Do you have any big events coming up that you're wanting to attend or run for yourselves?
So I'm thinking what ones we're actually... So we've got SteamCon later this year. We've got both SteamCons. We've got
trust me, I want to go back to the UK one. It was so fun last year.
So the cool thing about SteamCon US is, so that's September, is that's when Season 4 of Guild Ball is going to drop.
Ah, nice.
So yeah, a lot of our fans are pretty excited about that, and I'm excited to show off what's happening, what new stuff is coming out.
Yo, this is the thing. Every time you guys do your new season, the storyline pushes forward.
Yeah, exactly.
I am wondering how the exiles are going to start filtering in and actually working with their new guilds and stuff since the whole Union and Chains event happened.
Yeah, we've had the exiles have come out. So they came out, I think it was last month. And we're already starting to see them being played within teams, and they seem to be fairly well received. And then later on in the year, for all the teams that didn't get something from the Union and Chains, we are doing some veterans for them. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. We didn't want to leave the other teams out. We were initially very coy about what we were going to do for them, but now we can basically confirm and saying, yeah, you're getting something, we're not going to leave you out.
Yeah, although the one thing I did love that I saw at SteamCon last year was your guys' rookies. Can I get my hands on those yet?
Yes, so we have rookie models here at the show, and it's something you can also buy through our website.
Excellent.
So essentially, for those who aren't familiar, Rookie League is a organised play pack that we're planning to do. So when you buy a rookie, you get lots of cards that allow you to choose a front and a back, and then after each game, you get to level up either your front or the back. So it's one of those, there's kind of an element of customization. So although they're pre-established characters in their rookie form, you get to essentially take them from when they're not very good to when they are just flat out amazing.
No, I remember last year people were raving about it whenever they got to play it at SteamCon. Now, SteamCon in the UK this year, do we have a rough date for that? Because I'm sure everybody at home, there are people probably going, oh, I want to go.
It's in November. It's beginning of November, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the date offhand, but it's in November.
Should they visit the Steamforge website?
Yes, if you visit the Steamforge website, you can get tickets. And that's the same for both the US and the UK show as well.
I see. Now, last year you guys actually held it at Victoria Warehouse. Are you doing it at your HQ this year, or do you have another venue?
So it's one of those where we would love to do it at our HQ. Unfortunately, our HQ is not big enough for the size of this event. So we're running at a new venue that is quite near to our HQ, that is also a lot bigger. And it's one of those, we probably won't fill that space, but it gives us plenty of space to grow into. So as the event gets bigger and bigger, we can carry on holding it there. And it's nice and near HQ, so it works really well for us as well.
Excellent. And I'm guessing it's near everybody's homes that will be attending it as well from your crew.
Yeah, exactly. So it's based. We're based in Manchester, and it's in Trafford Park, and most of us are very close to there. So it's nice, easy commute for us.
All right. Well, is there anything else we need to cover? Anything we've missed?
Covered God tier.
Yep.
Oh, we should talk about probably when these things are coming out.
Ah, yes, no, that would possibly be very helpful for everybody out there watching at home.
So we'll start with the Dark Souls expansion for the board game.
Yes.
So this is going to be. We're actually getting a big shipment of all this very soon for the Kickstarter backers, and then it will be entering retail in August. And then through August through to October, we have plenty of other expansions, mega bosses, and so on. And then finally, the card game expansion will be coming in September with the reprints as well.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. Huh? Oh yeah, I forgot. You see, now I'm forgetting stuff. We actually do have lots of Let's Plays for all of the games that you guys have done. So be that Guild Ball, be that Dark Souls. I think at SteamCon last year we actually got Dark Souls, the card game, on your camera. Also, we did get a playthrough of one of the Resident Evil 2 missions last year. I'm hoping it's coming along well. Yes,
so that is due, the Kickstarter is due to fulfill around September time. And it's one of those where we're kind of in the quiet before the storm, where essentially it all starts to move. And then you get to see all the stuff we've been working on. I'm really excited because we've been putting out information about the development changes and how we've changed the game. And it's been well received, so I'm excited when people finally get to play it.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I think that is everything. I don't think we have anything else to cover.
I think we've covered pretty much everything.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I will let you get on because I'm sure you're tired, you're hungry, and most importantly, you need some rest.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Oh, not a problem, not a problem. Okay, everybody, do not forget, make sure and stay tuned because we have more live blogging to come. We have more live streaming to come. We will be back with you on Tabletop very shortly. Hello everybody and welcome back to the OnTableTop live stream. We have been joined by the guys from Greater Than Games, and tonight we are bringing to you live for the first time ever on this channel a live role-playing session of Sentinels the RPG. So Ben, would you like to run the intro?
Yes, it's very cool indeed. So yes, just in case you don't know, we'll be doing some live streams all throughout the rest of this weekend. We're doing some loads of stuff from here from the UK Games Expo. One of the big things we're doing this weekend is actually giving away this amazing Geek and Sun. So this table that you see here...
Well, we're not giving it away.
Well, Geek and Sun are giving it away, and we're doing a raffle with us. So all you got to do is go over there, fill in a little question. Very, very easy to answer that. It's about £5, I think, for a raffle ticket to get stuck into it.
Something like that.
And then you can potentially walk away with this amazing Geek and Sun table and get stuck into it.
Now, there is a question you have to answer, I believe, which is which channel or who at UK Games Expo is using a Geek and Sun branded table? Perhaps this table here. Answer A, Beasts of War. Answer B, The Beastie Boys. Or answer C, Beauty and the Beast.
As I said, man, it's a really easy question.
Tough one, isn't it?
C.
Well, are you saying I'm beautiful? Oh, thank you.
Oh, I meant he was the beauty.
Oh, I'm the Beast? Right, so how do we begin this then, man?
Well, so first off, I'm going to give a couple of quick introductions.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Christopher Bedell. I am the editor-in-chief of Greater Than Games, and I am the writer of all things Sentinel Comics. This is Dave.
This guy here.
Dave's not going to introduce himself.
Oh, I can introduce myself. I thought you were going to. You said I'm going to do some introductions.
I'm just passing it to you.
I see.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, I am the president of Critical Hit Studios, and I am the lead game designer on the Sentinel Comics role-playing game project.
Yeah. And we've been working on this for several years, and we're really excited to show it off. So what we brought today is some pieces of the starter kit. So we have for sale here at the show, and it's been out for several months now, the starter kit for Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game. And that starter kit comes with a ton of stuff. It comes with a GM screen, and it comes with 13 booklets. A gameplay booklet that teaches you everything you need to know to play the game, 6 character booklets, which is what we have here, and 6 adventure booklets. And each of those adventure booklets, and it has an RPG adventure, has a session of an RPG. It takes about 2 hours, roughly. Cool. We'll see that soon. And there's 6 of those that follow a path, a whole adventure path. But we're going to be doing just the first of those today. So at the end of this session, there is more story to be told, and if you're interested in playing through that story yourself or just experiencing that story,
doing it better than us,
right? Definitely, yeah, that's definitely. We should hope so. Then you can go pick that up yourself. But the 6 characters that I mentioned are 5 members of a team known in the pages of Sentinel Comics as the Freedom 5. And in the Freedom 5, you've got Legacy. Legacy is a strong hero who can fly.
If you pass him here, I can show him nice and close.
Sure, there you go. So that's Legacy. And he is your all-American kind of hero who's a leader, and he can fly, and he's strong, and he's a very straightforward kind of guy. Okay. We've also got Wraith. Wraith is an urban rogue that uses stealth and shadows to fight crime. She's got gadgets. She's pretty awesome. Yeah. We've got Bunker. Bunker is an army guy in a big suit, the Bunker suit. His name is Captain Tyler Vance. But anyway, Bunker suit. He's got all kinds of sweet equipment and a riot cannon. And we've got Tachyon, who is a super speed scientist. She is as quick of foot as she is of mind, and it's very fast in the case of both. And then we've got Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero is a guy whose core temperature due to an accident was dropped to 0 degrees Kelvin, absolute zero, and can he has to wear a suit to survive, but he can project beams of cold. So those are the 5 heroes. The last hero we have here is not a member of the Freedom 5. Her name is Unity. She is a technopath that makes robots with her brain. And she's pretty fun, but she was a former intern of the team and is now off doing her own thing. But she's back for this adventure, or she's available in the pool of heroes, shall we say, for this adventure. So, with those characters, we haven't yet talked about any of the mechanics of how the game works, but I'm just going to throw you guys into the deep end.
We're going to be learning as we go.
Well, we're going to do a little bit of pre-learning before we start the session, but I want you to pick your characters first.
Oh, well,
just on those stories.
Yeah,
so...
Ben, I'll let you go first.
Well, I was drawn immediately. I've played the card game, you see, for this.
Yeah, okay,
I very much enjoy all these different heroes. I was talking a little bit about Tachyon and stuff like that, but I think I'm going to go for the all-American hero. I'm going to go for Legacy.
There we go. There we go.
I was going to say Tycho because I just had Tycho on the brain, but I'm going to go for Legacy.
There we go.
Myself?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking Legacy, but seeing as Ben has got it, I think I shall go to the shadows and play the wraith.
Excellent, there you are. And
And I'm
Dave,
sure she doesn't sound like that.
I will be cold, sarcastic, and robotic, and so
but who do you want to play in the game?
I believe I will be absolute zero as a result.
Man, we have an awesome team already.
All right.
Yeah.
So, actually, I'm going to grab one more of these. All right. So I'm going to hold on tachyons just for now. So if you open up your booklet, in these booklets, the first page, the first spread, the middle page here, there we go, where you see the picture of the Wraith there on that, that page is the first page of the character sheet. And if we go ahead and turn the page, the back of that sheet is the second page of the character sheet. The pages on either side of those are just to explain what's going on that character sheet. So in that spread there, that spread there, those are all explanations of the character sheet that's on the left. Whereas on the previous page back, the full side there, that's all explanation of the character sheet that's there on the right. So we're not going to worry too much about the front of the character sheet for now. Oh, and of course, the last 2 pages of the character sheet, while we've got it open here, is just some quick reference things, some information you might need to know as you play, so you have it at hand. So, going to the second page of the character sheet, that's the part we're going to look at right now. At the top of the character sheet, you see you've got your name, but then you've got your powers, your qualities, and your status. And those are going to be used for everything we do. So anytime you do anything as a hero, you'll be building a pool of 3 dice. 1 for your powers, 1 for your qualities, and 1 for your status. Your status is how you're doing at the time. It's mostly tied to your health, but it'll also be tied to the scene that you're in. So if your health is doing fine, you haven't taken any damage, you'll be in the green zone. You've taken a bit of damage, things are looking rough, you're in the yellow zone, and things are looking dire, you're on their last legs, you're in the red zone. And this kind of is the answer to the question of why don't you use all your best abilities right off the bat in the very first few seconds of the fight? It's because you have to build to that point.
Right,
And like I said, this is tied also to the scene itself, in that as the scene passes, the scene has a tracker. Most scenes do. The first scene we played today won't, but I'm getting ahead of myself. But most scenes have a tracker in which the scene can go from the green to the yellow to the red based on how dangerous the situation is.
Okay.
So as the walls start coming down, you go into the yellow zone, and as the floor erupts in lava, we're into the red zone. Those are things that are going to happen here to us in the studio, not in the game. Just so you know. But so that's your status dice, and different heroes' status dice change as things get more dangerous. Like Legacy gets more and more resilient and stalwart as the scene progresses, whereas Wraith, she has no powers of her own, so as she takes damage, she gets in kind of a rough shape, but she's still good at things.
I just stay cool no matter what.
Yeah, you're cool under pressure, which is one of your qualities.
Oh, I'm sensing puns.
There might be
Just
a couple.
a few.
There
Just
might
a
be,
few.
yeah. So then, the powers and qualities. Your powers are the powers that you have that make you a hero. So in the case of Legacy, you've got strength and flying. Whereas in the case of the Wraith, who is an unpowered hero, you still have things that act as your superpower. Your agility, your deduction, your gadgets,
And throwing knives.
and throwing knives.
Can be useful.
Whereas your qualities are who you are as a person, the things you do that that are not necessarily heroic, but are the things that make up you as a person. And whenever you do anything, you're going to take 1 of your powers, 1 of your qualities, 1 of your status dice. So if I am Tachyon, because that's the character that I pulled for the sake of explanation, and I am like there's a bad guy over there, and I'm like, okay, I want to deal with this bad guy before he hurts anybody. So I'm like, well, I'm going to run up as fast as I can, and I'm going to punch him. I've described my action, and so then, well, let's see. I've got all these powers. Well, there's speed. And I said I was going to run up as fast as I can and punch him, so I'll grab a speed die. Next to my speed, it has a D10 here on the chart. Actually, I'm going to change this whole explanation because we've got that camera over there. Go ahead and put the race character sheet there.
Okay, so
we'll do a
we'll
different
pop the
explanation. So you've got the same bad guy, and Tachyon's like, look, I don't want to punch him. What are you going to do, Wraith? Which power are you going to use?
Quite simply, I am going to hide in the shadows and throw a throwing knife at him as hard as I can.
So you've described your action.
Yes.
Hide in the shadows and throw a throwing knife.
Yes.
So is there a power that works for that in some way?
Well, I have throwing knives.
You got throwing knife. So what die size is next to throwing
That
knife?
is a D10.
So you grab a D10. There you go. And is there a quality that fits that action?
Well, there's close combat, fitness, investigation, ranged combat, stealth, and wealthy CEO. So I could either use ranged combat or stealth. Because
true.
I'm hiding in the shadows to throw it, I would suggest that I use the stealth.
That sounds great to me. So what's the die size on that?
D10.
Cool. And you're in the green zone. You haven't taken any damage
Yes.
yet. What's your die size?
D10.
All right. So you're in a good zone here. The game uses D4s through D12s at the highest. So D10 is very strong. So you take all 3 of those dice.
Yep.
And you give them a quick roll.
Okay. We'll give these a roll.
And we're going to take the middle rolling result. So you rolled a 2, a 3, and a 10.
Yes.
So your 3s are middle rolling. Your 3s are middle rolling result, and so you've made an attack. and you do 3 damage.
Okay,
That's
cool.
how that works.
Nice and
So
simple,
if you go ahead and turn to the very last pages of your book, you'll see the 4 types of actions. We've already talked about attacking. That's the most straightforward one, where you roll a pool of 3 dice, and the middle rolling result is your attack that you deal damage with.
Yes.
Defending is just the opposite of that, where defending is you make a pool of 3 dice, where you're saying, okay, I'm using this power to defend myself, or maybe defend someone else if you're going to defend an innocent bystander. You pick a power for that, you pick a quality for that, you pick your status dice, you roll a 3. The number that you result, that key result, when the next time you would be dealt damage, it's reduced by that number.
I see.
Right. So attack and defend, they work the same but in opposites.
Okay, cool.
Overcome and boost and hinder are the last options, the last actions there, and those actions are based on a couple of charts that are there. In that, overcome is kind of a skill check. Anytime you're trying to deal with a situation in a method that isn't just doing violence, you're not punching somebody, you're overcoming a situation. Okay, great. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to pick a power that works towards your end, a quality, and your status die. You're going to roll all 3 of those, and your mid-rolling result, you will look at this chart. This chart here will say, if you get a 0 or less, you just fail. But if you get a 1 through a 3, you can either choose to fail or succeed with a major twist.
Yes.
And we'll talk about twists in just a second. If you get a 4 through 7, you would succeed, but with a minor twist. If you get 8+, you're going to just completely succeed. And if you get 12+, it will succeed beyond expectations, so some extra bonus effect.
Cool.
And then boost and hinder. Boost and hinder are mirrors of each other. Boost is just strengthening yourself or your allies, and hinder is making your opponents weaker. And with that, again, you pick your power, you pick your quality, you pick your status, you roll the die. The mid result is compared to the chart, and it uses the same numbers of 0, 1 through 3, 4 through 7, 8+, 12+, and those are all either +1 or -1 and on up the chart. We'll see those in action, I'm sure, over the course of this.
Wicked.
But those are the 4 types of actions. Everything you do in this game will fall into one of those 4 actions. Now, since you're superheroes and we've got all these great abilities, I mentioned earlier, going back to the back of your character sheet, I mentioned earlier that you have these green, yellow, and red zones. And those green, yellow, and red zones aren't just for your status dice, they're also for your abilities. When you're in the green zone, either due to your health or due to the scene itself, you have access to your green abilities. When you're in the yellow zone, you have access to your yellow abilities and your green abilities. And when you're in the red zone, you have your red abilities, your yellow abilities, and your green abilities.
Got it.
So you've got all of those abilities available to you. In the list of the abilities, you've got the names of the abilities, you've got the game text, the explanation of the abilities, but in between there's a little column that says type, and there's 3 letters that you need to know there. A, R, and I. A is an action. It takes an action to do this ability. So instead of just doing a basic attack, which would be the rolling 3 die and taking the mid result, you might have some special attack, like, for instance, I've got an ability here with Tachyon called Hypersonic Assault that lets me attack multiple targets, but it demands that I use the quality of finesse. So abilities will frequently say, hey, you can do this extra thing, but you've got to use this specific power or the specific quality. It'll dictate one or the other. The other one you would choose. So this says it dictates that I use the power, or the quality rather, of finesse, but it doesn't say which power I would use. And so I would choose, well, I'm using Hypersonic Assault. It uses finesse, but I'm also going to do it with speed or with inventions or with vitality, depending on what I've described. So each of those different abilities lets you use your powers, quality, status, lets you use those 4 basic actions in different kinds of ways. Where was I going next with this? Right, A was the action, so it takes an action to do that.
Yep.
R is the next type of ability, and R's are reactions. You get 1 reaction per round. It refreshes at the start of your turn. And then anytime that a thing happens, there'll be some sort of triggering event. You can use a reaction, and all of your different reactions will say, like for me, I've got Nimble Strike that says R. When a target moves near you, you may attack by rolling your speed die. So I'm rolling just my speed die. But if a target like runs up to me, before it punches me, I first roll my speed die and I hit it.
Yeah.
And so I might take it out before it even gets to get me because I'm tacky.
Awesome.
I'm Tachyon for another couple minutes while I finish the description, and then that's going away and I'm somebody else.
And then you'll become the most evil supervillain of all time.
Perhaps.
You have the beard to stroke like me.
Yes. So the other letter is I, which is inherent. An inherent ability is just an ability that is always true. It's not a thing that you need to specifically activate. It's just like, this is just always true. Sometimes it'll have a when this happens trigger, or it'll be a like constantly this is going on. But so yeah, you have actions, you take an action to do it. Reaction, spend your reaction to do it. Or inherent, this is just always true about it. All right, so that's pretty much everything from the front of the character, the back of the character sheet. The only thing that left is the fact that if you ever do get knocked out, you do still have an out ability at the bottom. That even when you're out of the fight, you're still doing something, just hanging on as best you can.
It's also health.
Oh yeah, there's the health. That's true. There's the next to the green, yellow, and red dice. There are the health zones there.
The bands for the different health.
Right, and that number you might go ahead and write on the note card that I provided you with. That highest number in the green zone there. That is the starting health for your character, and we'll keep track of it on those note cards as we go over the course of the game. But yeah, as your health drops, like for you, your health, your green zone is 32 to 25 with legacy. So if you drop to 24 hit points, now you're in the yellow zone. And again, if you drop to 11 hit points, you're in the red zone.
And just to go back to some of the things we were talking about, we've got the inherent ability here that legacy actually has. It's called Fortitude, which reduces physical and energy damage by 1 while in the green zone, 2 in yellow, and 3 while in red zone, which is pretty cool.
So if you had 25 hit points and 2 mooks ran up and they hit you, and one of them hit you for 1, and another one hit you for 2.
Yeah.
Well, so let's use higher numbers. Those aren't going to work. Let's have one of them hit you for 3 and one of them hit you for 4. As one of them hits you for 3, well, you're in the green zone, so you reduce it by 1, and you only take 2. Now the other one's hitting you for 4, but hold on, you're now in the yellow zone, so you would reduce it
just to 2. Takes it on the chin.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the front of the character sheet. The stuff at the very top is your description, your name, your description of who you are, gives you some information about who you are as a character. So that's useful to study up on because there will be a quiz. But underneath
My name is Paul.
Yeah.
Paul.
What is it, Paul? What?
Parsons.
Yes, good. You get to live another day. This is a very high stakes quiz. I don't know if that came out. But yeah, so underneath that though are your principles, and these are hugely important. Your principles are who you are as a hero, and a kind of a key for this game. If you're ever like, man, I'm not really sure what I should do in this situation, play to your principles. Okay, that's who you are as a hero. So for this character that I have here, Tachyon, I have the principle of speed because I'm very fast, and I have the principle of science because I'm very smart and studied. And so that gives me a couple of role-playing tags about things that are just true about me in the process of role-playing. Underneath that, it has a couple of questions. Questions labeled as minor twists and questions labeled as major twists. Now, if you think back to when we talked about the overcome action, there was the opportunity that you could, if you rolled like poorly, you could still succeed, but at the cost of a major twist. Right, or if you had a fairly median result, a much more common result on the dice, you're likely to succeed, but at a minor twist. Those twists, they can come from lots of things. They can come from the scene, they can come from the environment, they can come from the villain. The GM certainly always has twists available to use in a situation, be like, okay, here's the twist of what happens. But one of the things that I really love about this game is that you can also get twists from your principles. So the GM, you'll have, okay, you have a minor twist, and the GM will say, hey, Wraith, you had a minor twist in that overcome there. Is one of your principles, you were sneaking around this government building trying to find the files that had been stolen, or some sort of trace of what happened to these stolen files, and you rolled your overcome to see if you could find anything, and you succeeded, but with the minor twist. You succeeded, you definitely did the thing. Not to worry there. A twist, minor or major, will never negate your success, but it does add some extra wrinkle. And so we're like, okay, well, hey, what happens? And I'll ask you, the player, is there one of ask yourself one of those minor twist questions. Is there one that applies? And do you have an answer that would?
Well, for this particular one, what would work best is, what important clue did I just miss?
There you go. And do you have a specific important clue that you might have missed? And if not, I'm happy to put it forward myself. But you as the player, you can be like, oh, so hey, I found the things. And I'll tell you, yes, you found the things. But I missed this other thing. This is this extra information here. And it's like, that's true. And you're going to be building the story in as much as I am.
Some cooperative storytelling elements and stuff.
Absolutely. And like occasionally a player might have a twist where it's like, oh, minor twist, a helicopter flies through the wall and we all take tons of damage. Like, whoa, calm down. As the GM, it is my job to say, let's not kill ourselves with twists. And
on the flip side, it can't just be, well, I lost my shoe and I kind of liked it as a shoe, but otherwise it doesn't really do anything.
I'm going to make sure, like if you tell me that's your minor twist, you're like, oh, I lost my shoe, then I'd be like, oh, okay, you may have lost your shoe, but as you round the corner and leave the scene, some enemies pick up your shoe, and now I'm going to add 4. I'm adding 4 more soldiers tromping in because you lost your shoe. So I'm going to make sure that no matter what, the twist is appropriate to the situation.
You see, this is a great way to actually teach people storytelling in general, and actually keeping a coherent narrative between a group of people is something sometimes quite difficult.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that we really like about the dice pool system as well, is every so often you've got a person at a role-playing game who's either just not really into description or is just tired for the night, it happens. And even in that case, when they're like, look, I'm just going to hit the thing, well, they at least have to give us the name of their power and the name of their quality. So no matter what, it's like I just hit it with the most basic, boring attack I could come up with. So I'll hit it with speed and with close combat. Well, right there, that's much more interesting than I just punch it. It's like, okay, well, I run up fast. I'm going to hit it, get in close and fight.
Yes,
that's more interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's kind of what we're shooting for with the system.
Yeah.
Okay. I've just thrown a bunch of things at you. Do you have any questions before we dive right in?
I am pretty up to this. This is something awesome.
I think I can. I think this is my speed. I think I can rock with this.
I think it's your speed. Tachyon.
Oh, she's gone now. Yeah,
that was fast.
Yeah. Dave, do you have any questions?
Oh my god.
I'll just be chill over here.
One of the things that happens as a process of character creation in the list of qualities, everybody has a quality that isn't on any of the lists of qualities from the character creation process. It's not a quality that anybody can take. It's a quality that you've chosen for yourself at the end of your character creation process to flesh out your character. And those are where you get the qualities like Legacy has the quality.
Finest.
America's finest. That is his quality. That's where Absolute Zero's quality, cool under pressure, comes from. And can you guess what your role-playing quality is?
Wealthy CEO.
It's true about you. You are a wealthy CEO of Montgomery Industries.
That's why we role play, is to
for the next couple hours at least.
Yes. Well, the escapism. Oh, the escapism.
So, all that said, I've got these series of note cards over here. Pay no mind to these note cards. They're certainly not dangerous.
They are my impending doom.
So, you three heroes are the heroes Legacy, Absolute Zero, and Wraith. You are three of the primary members of the Freedom Five. Three of the five. You're 3/5 of the team at least. Very least.
The best 3/5.
Sure. The best 3/5 that are here in this story.
Well, you know those mandated vacation days. If you don't use them,
Right,
they're gone.
no. Well, and so that's the thing is that currently Tachyon and Bunker are off dealing with. There's this catastrophic event that destroyed a lot of the world. And the two of them are over in the UK. They're in this small, tiny town called Birmingham, and they're putting back together this building called the NEC that was destroyed in this attack. So they're over there in this other place entirely. But the three of you are in America.
Okay.
America.
And so the three of you are in the city of Megalopolis, which is the home city of the Freedom Five, and you're dealing with the fact that most of the world just was attacked by various cosmic things that would take way too long to explain right now, but you know that the world is still recovering from this attack. And so the three of you are there, and the city it's in the recovery process. It's been a few months, but still there's wreckage everywhere. Skyscrapers demolished. There's work crews at every intersection getting power back to these buildings, putting things back together. Always still, looking for anybody that's damaged, injured by the attack. Sure, it happened months ago, but there's still people all the time that are caught under collapsing buildings, and you got to look out for gas leaks and all that trouble. Additionally, there is a tree. There's a very large tree that has grown up in the center of the town, in the center of the city of Megalopolis. And when I say it's a very large tree, I mean the base of this tree is several city blocks, and the top leaves of this tree are more than 3 times the height of any of the buildings in the city. So this is a colossal tree, several hundred feet tall. So yes, and so this is, and it's not a thing that you're necessarily afraid of. You're aware of this tree. This is a tree that grew up. That was made by one of the heroes to prevent the destruction of the city. So the city was saved by this tree, but also now the city's getting put back together, and there's this giant tree, and it's in the way in a lot of ways. But anyway, so I just kind of want to go around real quick and have each of you tell me what thing you're doing in the city to help the city of Megalopolis recover from this event.
Okay, so I'll go first. The Legacy at the moment is downtown. He's in some of the busiest parts where all the damage has happened and things like that. Sure. And he's basically gone down there and he's gone to talk to some of the different crews that are working there and all the mere mortals. But of course, Legacy doesn't refer to them as such like that. Right. And he's helping them with whatever they need to do. So he's lifting girders and helping people out, moving the rubble around and things like that. And
That's great.
Into it.
That's fantastic. So you're downtown. You're helping out in the thick of the damage.
He's reassuring everybody that everything's going to be fine. We're going to be looking after you. We're going to be bringing the city back to what it was.
Sure. Helping to put the monorail back together.
Yeah. He's lifting up a train with one hand and stuff like that.
Sure. Naturally.
Of course, yeah.
So we're going to do a quick preview of how the initiative system works in this game. We use an elective initiative system in which at the end of your turn you can pass it to anybody who hasn't yet acted in that turn, in that scene, in that round. There we go. That's the word. In that round. So there's no specific reason for initiative yet, but even still, Legacy, who are you going to pass it to next?
I want to pass it to Absolute Zero and see what he is doing.
So a bunch of the power plants have been wrecked and are still causing problems.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm just going to put out literal fires that are
Electrical fires.
Electrical fires.
Yeah.
You know, whatever fires happen to be around. You know.
Electrical fires, gas fires, mineral fires, plant fires, animal fires.
Some plasma fires for some reason.
That happens. That happens.
Man fires.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
A lot of man fires.
A lot of man fires. Okay, so you're putting out the fires.
Yep.
That's good. That's helpful. So downtown power plants. Who do you want to pass it to? Your options are Wraith.
Great.
All right.
Well, currently, Wraith is not done up as a superhero. She is down at her company in the middle of a board meeting, redesigning the central city park and the infrastructure of the city to try and avoid this happening again, trying to reinforce dams, buildings, making them better, more earthquake-proof. Also overseeing some humanitarian aid to go out to those who have been injured or hurt or lost their homes.
Maya Montgomery, CEO Maya Montgomery.
Yes.
She is in her element here.
Yes.
Because even though Wraith is a powerful and useful superhero in a fight, Maya Montgomery's calling is perhaps even more.
I don't imagine Wraith would actually be out in the middle of the day trying to actually use her gadgets and stuff to rebuild stuff. She has better resources.
Sure.
Leaves that to Legacy.
Excellent. So while the three of you are all working on your various projects, it is in fact Legacy, you there in the center of the city, in the bustling downtown area, who first hear any sign of disturbance in the form of some screaming civilians. As you're lifting up heavy things and putting them back down again, and then doing it again with the other hand just to show, look, no problem.
Oh, yes.
Oh, excellent.
It's arm day. You know.
I will not miss leg day.
So as you're doing this, you as you're lifting a train overhead, you hear behind you the sounds of screaming and running people.
Right, so I'm going to lever the train down slowly onto the ground, make sure that everything's safe.
Right.
Look around, make sure everyone's on task.
Right.
And I'm going to leap into action. So I'm going to use my flight, I reckon, and just burst into the air,
Sure.
get as high as I can, and look around me to see what else is going around me.
That sounds great. That sounds great. And I'm not going to make you roll for flight because I'm never going to make you roll for a thing that you can just do.
Just inherently do,
You don't have to attempt a difficulty skill check to open a door, and Legacy doesn't have to attempt a skill check to fly up in the air.
It's just one of his natural abilities.
I got
So
that.
yeah, shoot him into the air as quickly as I can, get a sort of like an overview of what's going around me, and make sure that I get right into the action of any.
Sure. So, in fact, only like a few, maybe a dozen meters away, there are a group of civilians, of people who are looking pretty haggard. They're soot stained and clearly have just crawled out from under some building. The work crews have been helping them out, but they are rather than looking exhausted, they are looking panicked. They are running and they're screaming as out from this building, this slowly crumbling building that the work crews are working out, come a trio of tiny, skittery little robots. And I put my book over here because I'm like, I don't need my book for anything. I have all my notes in my head. But there's pictures of robots in a book.
Oh, okay.
Give me.
Yeah. Actually, there's some on the cover, but let's just go with these robots.
Ooh, creepy little fellows.
So these are these roughly mailbox-sized robots with spindly little stabby legs and glowy eyes, and they seem very friendly. They just want to hug the people they're chasing, but the problem is
with claws.
Right, they're bad at hugs.
Oh, God damn it!
They don't,
claw hugs.
right, they don't have the situational awareness to understand that claw hugs, they're just out.
Okay.
So you've got 3 spider bots that have entered the scene here, and for the purpose of the chat and for explanation as to what's going on here, I have a note card that I've just revealed as if I'd drawn it immediately out of my pocket. I drew these just before going live because I happened to know what was going to happen here. These spider bots, they each, I have a note card that says spider bots on it. Underneath it says D6 3 times. So this is a group of 3 spider bots, and they're each represented by a 6-sided die. And this means that these are minions. Minions have a single die that represents them. When they attack or do anything, when they take any action, they roll their die and use that result. And when they are attacked, if somebody's trying to deal them damage, in fact, let's find out what that looks like. Rather than me explaining that anymore, we'll begin a scene. We're into the initiative, and in that scene, we've got 2 actors so far. Although we'll add, we have 4 actors, but we'll start with Legacy, and you've got you, Legacy, are an actor in this scene, and these spider bots are an actor, and they are one group.
Okay.
Though they are 3 bots, they are one group of bots. They're going to work together.
Awesome. Right.
So Legacy, what would you like to do? You see this group of spider bots, and they are menacing the crowds of people.
Okay, so forward brow in action, proper heroics thing. You got the sun behind his head and everything as he goes down.
Right.
He's just going to bamf down out of the air.
Yeah.
With his flight. He's going to smash down to the nearest bot.
Yeah.
That is going for one of the civilians.
Sure, the one that's closest to the villain is a good call.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm going to reckon that's going to be flight.
Sure.
I would imagine.
That makes sense.
I'm going to go with close combat, and then of course my green dice for
in the
my
green
status.
zone.
So that is going to be a D8, another D8, and a D6.
That sounds great.
Awesome.
So give those a quick roll, and let's see how you're doing.
And as he goes down, he shouts out, "Don't worry, civilians, I've got you covered." So using the middle value. So
there you go.
4,
and that is a 4. So you've attacked the spider bot with a 4. Whenever a minion is attacked, it rolls its die as a save to see if it can save.
Okay.
So I'm really hoping that I roll a 4, 5, or 6. I gotta get my.
I'm really
bot to
hoping
survive.
you don't do that.
I imagine so. Yes.
Legacy
so
would
here we
not
go.
allow that.
Whoop. A 4.
Goddamn.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now here's the situation.
Yeah.
You have attacked a minion. You are this guy.
Just so you can see again who I am playing, because it's basically a mirror of me.
Yeah, right.
I am Legacy.
He doesn't have a beard, but other than that,
This is
spinning
my,
image.
my day-to-day
Oh,
look.
sure,
you see,
it's
like,
you tear it off.
When he's Paul Parsons.
Right. You're giving away your secret identity here.
God damn it! I've got the glasses for it and everything. So.
But when you look like that and you punch a mailbox-sized robot, it doesn't get away scot-free. If it had rolled a 1, 2, or 3, you would have destroyed it. No problem. But instead, since it succeeded on its save, it's reduced. It's no longer a D6. It's a D4.
Okay.
So now it's damaged. It's got a dent in the side of its head, and one of its legs is kind of twitching as it moves around.
Yeah.
It's no longer quite the same spider bot that it was, but it's still active. And if you attack,
I'd like to think that Legacy, as he was doing it, he made sure that he was doing it so that in a way that could kind of knock away the spider bot.
Oh, definitely.
Not necessarily just smash it to pieces.
Yeah,
Because
you
he was
punched
more
it
worried about
back.
the civilians,
Right, so-
than destroying the spider bot immediately.
you could have done more damage to it, but your focus.
I'm looking after that lady behind me.
Right,
so,
and you also
yeah.
didn't want to punch it into something worse.
Exactly,
Right,
yeah,
So
yeah.
you've done a good job. You've prevented the spider bots from massacring this crowd of people. And excitingly, their attention is on you. So
Bring it on, spider bots.
So I'm going to hijack your turn here. Normally now, at the end of your initiative, it is your turn to pass the initiative to whoever you want to. But you are going to be so kind to me and pass it to my spider bots.
I'm going to pass it to you, spider bots.
Thank
Why am
you.
I doing this?
I don't know why. I don't know why. You could have passed it to either of these people, but instead
I
you
need
passed
help,
it to spider
goddammit.
bots. So these spider bots here.
I have an important question here.
Yeah.
Is this spider bot even worse at hugs now?
Oh, yeah. So
Okay.
it turns out the spider bot is much worse at hugs because it's got that one leg that's twitching around. So when it would come in for the hug, that twitching leg, it's going to take an eye out.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Sorry, has no one heard of health and safety?
That's the point of putting this city back together.
I am health and safety.
No, I'm the one working on that.
So you've got these 3 spider bots, and the one of the spider bots, the one that's nearest you, it's just gonna stab at you. It's clearly got like other things that it might be able to do, but it's on the fritz and it's just gonna kind of like twitch and stab at you.
It sees an enemy, and so it's going for me.
And it gets you. It rolls a 4.
Yeah.
So you would take 4 damage, but you do have your fortitude.
My fortitude
inherent
so
ability.
reduces it by 1, so I take 3 wounds.
There you go.
So that's down from 30.
The
I
oth-
did some math.
The other 2 spider bots are still in good shape and they're following their programming. And part of their programming is they seek to aid each other when fighting against a threat, when fighting against a threat that's not just chasing something down. So one of them is going to boost the other. One of them turns and looks at its friend, and it sends out little laser lights from its eyes to create kind of like a hard light amplifier on the front of that spider bot. It rolls a boost check. It rolls a 2, so it only gets a +1, but it's giving a +1 to this one on its next action.
Okay.
Its action is to turn around, point its robot butt at you, and send a giant pile of sticky web all over you.
Why is this happening to Legacy? Why, you're ruining my cape, goddammit!
Yeah, right, so this,
That dry cleaning bill.
so this, this spider bot is going to get the +1 from its friend.
Okay.
Additionally, all minions have a simple ability of some sort, and the ability of spider bots is that they are very good at making webs. So it gets a +1 on making webs. So it gets in fact a +2 to this roll. Oh boy!
Be a darn good web.
All right, and it rolls a 3.
Okay.
That moves. That means that its hinder is in the 4 to 7 range, and it gives you a -2 to your next action.
Oh, okay.
So you are webbed. If I had thought about it, I would have made a whole pile of webbed cards. But
Who knew this was going to happen?
Right. So you are webbed, which means that the next time that you take an action, it's a -2. Now that is not a persistent penalty. When you boost or hinder, you make a bonus if you boost or a penalty if you hinder. And there are abilities that say that you can make persistent bonuses or penalties. When you make a persistent mod, it hangs around. This is not a persistent mod. So the next time you do anything, that -2 will affect your key die, whatever the die that is that you're using to do the thing. That will get reduced by 2, and then the web will go away. So as part of whatever you do, you can tear the web off.
I sort of break through the web as I do it.
Absolutely. But if it were a persistent penalty, then it would last until something specifically got rid of it, either through an overcome or a boost to negate it.
Awesome.
All right, so that is the spider bots have gone. So they've gone already for the round. I'll put them. Yeah, spider bots have already gone for the round, and they're going to pass it to Absolute Zero. But first, I want to tell you some things, Absolute Zero. How are you doing?
Doing good. I mean, fire control is, and I'm sure nothing is going to complicate this process.
Sure, no, I can't imagine how it would. You don't like fire that much because if it's too hot, it could hurt you, but you're real good at putting it out, no problem. And you're hanging out, putting out fires, certainly not worried about the robots that come scrabbling out of the wreckage of the power plant that you're in front of. Probably not a big deal.
Hi, robots.
But I will give you between the fact that you and your fellow heroes do have radios, you can all talk to each other, and the fact that Absolute Zero, you're paying attention. You do see these spider bots before they see you. They come crawling out of the wreckage, and you've got the drop on them. You see them coming. There's a group of 3 spider bots dancing on your.
Well,
what do you do?
They're going to notice me quite shortly as I blast one with cold.
Oh wow!
Turns out that's my move. So I'm going to look at my powers here, and I'm going to use cold, it turns out, which is a 12-sider, because I'm very good at cold.
You're very cold.
And I'm going to use ranged combat, because I am ranged combating them.
That's true.
And I have a d8 for my status die. So I'm going to roll. And I'm actually, so one of Absolute Zero's thing is that he regulates temperature very oddly, and so I'm actually going to use this thing that damages me, but might allow me to get closer to the yellow zone where I can do some extra kind of cool things and kind of accelerate the process.
So you're using your freezer burn ability?
I'm using my freezer burn ability, and I am freezer burninating them.
Yeah. And yourself.
And myself. Oh, hello.
That's a really good
That
roll.
is a really good roll.
Yep. So my mid die is a 10 to one of those spider bots.
Okay, that's great. It's going to roll its d6 to try to prevent that 10. And it rolls, and it got
tries
a 12.
its best.
Yeah, you absolutely just
That's some
obliterate.
shenanigans going on here.
The spider bots come crawling out, and the 3 of them are just like ambulating down the road, and Absolute Zero destroys one, and the other 2 go. And then also the min die that you rolled, I believe.
Yep. So I did 5 to myself. As well.
Not a big deal. Probably not a problem.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
All right. So at this point, you could pass it to the spider bots or to the wraith. Either one. Your choice.
I'm going to throw it to the spider bots.
Oh, sure. That's great. They're going to follow their programming. One's going to boost to the other. You've seen this move before. Oh, I think it's a 4, so it's going to get a +2. And the action that it's getting to, so it's getting a +1 from its ability and a +2 from its boost. It's going to attempt to web you up. Yes, all the way over there.
For a 3.
For a 3, which becomes a 6, which is the same as what Legacy got webbed up. So we are webbed again.
Who could have seen this coming? More webs.
From us.
Wow. You are also webbed. Spiderbots they're going to pass it to Wraith.
Okay.
So you're in your board meeting, doing your stuff. And you get a page on your tablet there from security, and you dismiss it. You're like, no, hold on, just deal with it. This is really important.
Yeah.
And they page you again at a higher priority level.
What?
You want to see what they want, or?
Yeah, I'll answer the page to
Sure.
security and ask. Yeah. What's going on? I'm in the middle of rebuilding the city.
As you're come on,
Yeah.
What do you guys need?
What do you need?
If
Yeah,
you need a
what's up?
sandwich, just go get a sandwich. Just so you can take a lunch break. Come on.
Yeah.
The panicked face of one of your security guards pops up on your monitor and says, "They're all over the place. What are we gonna do?" And then he gets he falls to the side, and the spider robots kind of wave at you through the camera. And there's a bunch of spiders in your lobby.
Oh, wonderful. Well, first thing I do is I'm going to turn to the rest of the board meeting and tell them all to go out by the north exit down the fire escape and get to safety.
Sure. What are you gonna do, Maya Montgomery, who's definitely just a regular person and not a superhero?
Well, I'm gonna slowly wave them all out. And as soon as the last one's through the door, I'm going to close and lock the door. I am then going across to the south wall, where I actually happen to have a hidden compartment.
Of course.
Where I can get at my super suit.
Yep.
So very quickly get dressed.
You're a wealthy CEO. You've got all kinds of gadgets. You've got a button you can push.
Yeah.
That robot arms come out of the wall and shoom, you're dressed.
Yes.
You're not hopping around trying to get a boot on.
Yeah. So from there, I head out through the other door in the meeting room.
Yep.
Go to the nearest elevator, prise it open.
Okay. Not going to wait for that.
Hell no! Hell no, I'm a hero. I am jumping onto the cable and I am going to shoot down to the lobby
I
as
was
quickly
really
as I
looking
can.
forward to having like a.
I am not that patient.
Someone else gets on
Besides,
the
how much
elevator.
cooler does it look having Wraith flying down an elevator
Oh,
shaft
that's
by
way
the
cooler.
cable?
I'm just like, okay, we're gonna now. So the Wraith is gonna pass Legacy. Legacy is gonna pass Absolute. Back to the Wraith. How you doing? All right, so you go down that elevator shaft.
Yeah.
And the elevator's waiting there in the lobby. You drop on top of the elevator.
Yes.
Pop that top compartment out, and you're into the lobby.
Yes, down into the lobby, and I'm not just going to charge out.
Sure.
I'm very quietly going to prise the doors open and peek out through and see what I see in the lobby.
In the lobby, you see chaos.
Right.
There's people running and screaming. There's a security guy with a stun baton. It's like, back, and he's zapping into the robots. But they've got long, spiny fingers, and they're coming after him. And it seems bad. I would say bad.
Okay. Well, at this stage, I am going to prise the door open a little bit more,
Yeah.
and I'm going to use one of my abilities. Now, I know I'm not in the shadows, but I assume they haven't noticed me yet.
Sure,
I assume I can use Strike from the Shadows
Absolutely.
to chuck a throwing knife at one of these spider bots, aiming for its butt.
The butt. That's
Yes.
key.
I'm hoping for a bonus on this one.
Well,
Explosion of webbing.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But go ahead and so go ahead and follow the text of the ability. Lets you make an attack, and then also you'll get to defend yourself by keeping your
Yes, my
stealthy
minimum
position.
dice becomes. Well, I'll read the full thing.
Sure.
Attack using stealth. Defend with your min die against all attacks on you until the start of your next turn.
Perfect.
So I would assume I am using throwing knives, so D10.
There you go.
I'm using stealth, so D10, and I am using. I am in the green status,
Yes.
so D10.
There you go. Seems familiar.
So my middle is a 9.
So you got the bonus you were looking for. It sounds like there that
You guys are showing me up.
you were able. You throw that knife out there, and it explodes the whole butt of the spider bot, and that spider bot, in fact, it explodes in an explosion of webbing, and that was the one that was menacing the security guard. There were 2 more behind it.
Yes.
And the explosion of webbing creates this kind of like wall that the 2 spider bots that they're also trying to get the security guard can't get to it. The security guard's now freaked out because he was like, "Oh no, robots! Oh, the robot has exploded and there's web all around me." But I feel safe.
Something in the back of my head is telling me I'm okay.
So now, at this point, you've taken your action, and you have the defend. What was your minimum die?
3.
So you've got a defensive 3 until
Next
your next
round
round.
from
Very
all
cool.
attacks.
Yes, right. So you have one option to point it to. There's only one
I will pass
actor
it
who's
to the spider bots.
Excellent. The 2 spider bots, they're going to. "Oh, what do we do with this webs? And we'll have one of them is going to attack the webbing and do some damage to it. Great. But the other one is going to wheel. It saw the motion come in from the side of its spidery eye, and it's going to wheel and look at the elevator, and it's like. That elevator door through a knife. And it's going to advance on the elevator door.
I heard those tick, plinky, plinky sounds from the elevator.
And as it gets closer and closer, it seems to be scanning the elevator, and sure enough, it's sure that something's in there.
Yeah.
And so it is going to shoot a laser beam from its eyeball at you through the door of the elevator, and it attacks you for 1 ping. And because you're in the shadows, you kind of see it aiming up for you, and you kind of step to the side a little bit, and shoots past you.
Not today.
Yeah. So
No,
there
this
you
is where I'm
go.
standing going. Ding.
Now you're listening to that nice elevator music. Yeah, good.
I'm so glad we installed this system.
All right, so the spider bots have gone, and at the end of the round, they're the last actor, so they can pass it to whoever they want to in the round. They can't pass it to themselves because now everybody refreshes, so they can pass it to any of you three, or they could pass it to their friends. Legacy. How are you doing?
Well, I've got web all over me now.
That's true, and you're not being passed to. Some spider bots are attacking you. You got close there, close. Yeah. So the two remaining spider bots are here, and yeah, like you said, you're webbed up. So the two bots are there that are still following programming. One attacks the little one, the little. We'll call him Broken Bot. He's like, he's still doing his job. I'm doing the best that I can, and he stabs away at you for 2 damage. You only take 1 of it, but hey, he's still got something through. I'm proud of him. The other 2 bots are following programming. Now that you're webbed, the boosting bot boosts his friend, rolls a 4, so it gives a +2 to his friend, who now attacks you. Runs up with a stabby feet. Much feats, much stabbing. Gets a +2 to the attack. Rolls a 6 and attacks you for 8 damage. Now you reduce it by 1.
Yeah.
So you only take 7.
So I take 7 damage.
Yeah.
So I'm down to.
But you're into the yellow zone. All right.
Yeah.
So
this is opening up a lot more. So these powers.
So now you have access to your yellow and your green abilities.
I'm just going to pass this over to Justin.
Yeah.
So you can see what I've moved on to there.
Bring this up for everybody home. So you have this.
Yeah.
And now you've got Thuck, Flying Smash, and Danger Sense.
That's good.
So Danger Sense sounds like it could be very useful for you.
It might be at this point, yeah.
So these 3 spider bots have acted. They are going to send the scene all the way across the world, not that far, to a couple of spider bots that are outside a cooling plant. We're going to do a similar thing.
Hey,
I'm sorry, it was a power plant. It just happens to now be a cooling plant.
Yeah, I've doubled its efficiency.
Right, exactly. We've got the boosting friend who gives a +2, and the attacking friend who only gets 3 damage on you. But he'll take it. Wraith,
And if I might interrupt.
Oh yes, you may.
Now that I've moved into the yellow zone, I have an ability that is modular realignment. So I have started my suits, then goes ka-chunk, 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 and starts to adapt to the spider's attacks.
That's true.
And I'm going to boost using my cold die.
Right.
Cool.
So you roll your cold die and get a boost out of it, and
That was the best boost.
You guys are rolling so well.
So what happens here is you took some damage from a bot. A bot runs up to you and it slashes you with its foot. And as it does, it creates a hole in your armor. And cold air vents out of that. Quite a lot of cold air, turns out, vents out of that. And that cold air swirls around you. What do you do with it?
I'm forming it into a protective coating to myself, which I can also then use to aid my attacks, because it is around my my gauntlets.
You've got an ice coating. Icing is better. It's too late now,
No,
though.
it's too delicious.
Yeah. And it's a +4. So strong work there. You must have played this game before, Dave. That's how you roll.
Actually, only twice.
Yeah, it's true.
This is the killer for creators of games. They don't get enough time to play.
Exactly.
That is, I said it's one thing that Dave and I were talking about this yesterday. It's one thing that I really like about this game is that GMing this game feels a lot like playing. Like a lot of times GMing a game, like it's enjoyable. I love GMing a lot of different RPG systems, but being a GM in this game, it's a lot of the same sort of things you do as a player, and it's a blast. I really enjoy it. But anyway, so those 2 spider bots, they did their business, and we're going to return to the elevator scene where the spider bot that was attacking the web sees what its friend is doing, goes, oh, sorry, turns and boosts its friend that's at the elevator door, giving it a +2 as it attempts to shoot a wider laser beam at you.
Okay.
And it rolls a 4, gets a +2, it gets 6, so it does hit you, but you reduce it by 3.
Yeah, so I'm down by 3, so I'm on 23.
There you go. And with that done, all the spider bots have acted. So I did a thing there where I kind of bookended the initiative by passing it around to these characters because I had the sneaking suspicion that they weren't going to get a lot of turns left now that you guys are fully aware and ready for fights.
Exactly.
So that's what's going on with that situation there, and they're going to pass it to you, Wraith.
Okay. I think I am going to see if I have any small magnetic explosives within my utility belt.
Sure.
And throw a pair of them at each of them.
Sure. So what you're doing here, unless you have a specific ability you're invoking, if not, it's fine.
Nope, this is a general attack.
Great. So what you're looking for here is what's called a risky action.
Okay.
On the last page of your character sheet, it describes it, but I'm happy to tell you right now how it works. So a risky action is you're looking to do an extra thing. Normally, a basic attack hits one target, but you're saying, look, I want to make a basic attack. I want it to hit 2 targets.
Yes.
You can do that at the cost of a minor twist.
I will take a minor twist.
Sure. Do you have one in mind, or do you have one, or is there?
Well, there are 2 questions here.
Yes,
so
that's true.
What
Are there
important
either of
clue
those?
did I miss, or what evidence did I just leave behind? I think it's what important clue did I miss would be the best one for that.
I am all about that. I am all about that, and I will get to that in just a second. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's nothing.
Everything's fine.
Okay, so I would use gadgets, ranged combat, and my status.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah.
So my gadgets, D8.
Yeah.
My ranged combat, D8. And the status effect, I'm still in green, so D10.
Beautiful.
See if I can get something nice here.
A 5. A 5, and it's going against both of these 2 spider bots.
Yes.
So they're gonna roll their saves. Oh no! You toss out your magnetic bombs, tink tink, and those 2 spider bots kind of go. They look at each other. They have 1 second to go, huh? And they look at each other.
Oh, roger, roger.
All right, they are gone.
Now, there was a minor twist in this.
Sure, there was, and for now, all I'm gonna say. Don't worry, it'll come up. For now, I'm going to say is that all 3 of those spider bots that you were dealing with, the one that you threw the knife into its butt, and the 2 that you just exploded with bombs, they're just shredded shrapnel. There's nothing left of them but little bits of metal.
Okay.
So that's all there is for now.
Okay. In that case, I am going to pass to Legacy. Clean yourself up, friend.
So Legacy, he's like webbed a little bit. He's got it all over his boots. He's got something on his cape. He's been attacked by these
and your
spider
3
bots as
defenses
well.
gone. So.
Yes.
And he's gonna get on the radio, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, fellows, are you having some problems with some spider bots here in the city right now?"
Yeah.
What spider bots?
The important clue that you missed. There were spider bots. You didn't even notice. You were just jumping down the elevator and throwing knives and bombs for no reason. No, I'm kidding.
I'm having some problems downtown
Kids need
here.
to stop bringing their toys into my lobby. This is not cool.
That's what it is. Yeah, I'm having some problems here downtown. How are you guys dealing with things?
Shooting them.
Seems like a goddamn good plan. And at that moment, he's going to look around at what is happening. And in terms of where the spider bots are, what kind of environment are they in? Are there some rubble above them and things around it?
They were crawling out of this rubble. The 3 of them had crawled out of this rubble, and they were just kind of heading across ground. It's mostly open ground. It's like the middle of a street, but there's some rocks and some concrete pylons that have fallen over in the street. And the people were fleeing, and they were going through that. So that's kind of where you are. You're in that street situation.
Okay, cool.
With rubble and such around.
Right. So I think I'm going to try and do a little bit of a flying smash.
Okay.
I'm going to try and do sort of like an attack on multiple targets to try and weaken them a little bit more. So I'm going to use that ability. So it's attack multiple targets using flight, and I use my min dice.
That makes
So
sense.
this might be a little bit of a risk because I've got my webbed on as well. But I'm thinking if I could try and sort of hit a couple of them at once, might be a cool idea.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to try and sort of aim to try and, if it doesn't quite work out, knock them a little bit further away from these civilians as well, and sort of like create a little bit of a screen as I'm going through.
You can certainly hit all 3 of them, and you can certainly, if not just knock them back from the civilians, also make sure that they are looking at you.
Exactly.
All
Concentrate
eyes
on me,
you.
guys.
Right, yeah.
So I use my flight for this. So it's 8. And then I reckon I'm going to try and use my close combat for this one as well.
Makes sense. Lots of
D8
punching.
there. And then because I've gone down a status level, so I'm down into the yellow, I actually use a D8 here as well.
Great. So now if you just roll very high numbers, you'll be fine.
That's what every gamer needs to do.
Yeah,
roll high.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, the min dies are 1.
1?
The min dies are 1. And the web is just going to completely negate that. Oh,
I'm having some trouble here, guys. Are they firing webs out of their butts?
No, that sounds gross.
There was mild
Seriously, is this
explosions
just
here.
me?
There's webbing everywhere. I need to call my cleaning crew right now.
All right. So these spider bots are not impressed. You leap in the air to fly at them, and you start flying at them, but the web is like all over your cape, and it flips up across your face, and you manage to kind of like hit a lamppost that's in the air, and you're fine. Lamppost is not fine. You're fine, and you careen off of it and roll a few times, and as you roll, you knock into the spider bots, and you knock them back. You knock them back, and they're definitely all eyes on you. I told you, you're going to hit all 3, and you'll knock them back, and they'll keep their eyes on you.
Yeah.
But You don't really do any damage.
I might need some help down here downtown. Hope you guys are cleaning up the mess over there. And pass it over to Absolute Zero.
All right. I'm going to clean up a mess.
All right, that sounds good. So what are you going to do?
Because this has become more serious now, I think I'm also going to take a risky action to try and blast the two of them together.
Okay, and is there a minor twist that you'd like to invoke?
Well, so my suit was pierced.
It was, yeah.
And
usually you've got little bits of your suit that manage to like knit itself back together to a degree.
Mm-hmm. But one of my minor twists is how did part of your suit get damaged or lost? And so I think some of the regulators that were operating overtime are now kind of burning themselves out.
Okay, all right. So I'm just going to give you this, and this is just the fact that your suit has a damaged regulator, and it's not dire. It's not a real big problem, but at some point in time you're going to need to deal with it.
Yeah.
And if it goes for too long, it might have some adverse consequences. But for now, probably not a big deal.
Well, I'll just get tacky on.
Oh no. Oh no, she left.
Oh, no. All right, so I'm using my cold. I'm using my range, which is D12, using my range combat, which is D10, and my status, even in the yellow, is a D8. And...
Nice.
5 is my middle die. Yeah. I get a +4 for my ice coating, which takes it to a 9. -2 for the webbing.
Okay. All
right. Is so a 7.
All right. So the 2 spider bucks are there.
They should roll a 7 or above on those 6-siders.
All right. So you've got that cold air that had kind of wrapped around your hands, and when you send your 2 beams forth to hit the 2 spider bots, that cold air goes with them and creates quite a mess. And you destroy a couple of spider bots.
I'll be right there, Legacy.
Thanks, Zero.
All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. So we've got 3 spider bots left. So now at this point, everybody has acted in the round.
Yes.
So Absolute Zero, who would you like to pass it to?
I would like to pass it to the ring.
Excellent. Well, seeing as everything is pretty badly destroyed around my end of the place, I'm going to get onto the radio and figure out who needs help and where.
Sure. And you can talk to these two. I mean, you've been hearing those conversations. You've got an earpiece.
Zero, Legacy, come in. I've just had to kill 3 spider bots in my lobby. Are you guys okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Things are not going too well here. I seem to be causing a lot more damage than I seem to be stopping. If you guys could come downtown and help me out here, I'd be mighty swell.
Okay, so at which point I'm getting back in the elevator and now I'm going down to the basement to grab a motorcycle to actually ride out to Legacy.
Sure thing. You can go down to the basement, you get on your motorcycle, you get out of downtown, and you leap off your motorcycle to see Legacy lying on the ground with a cape wrapped around him and web around his face, and a group of spider bots looking somewhat confused down at him.
There's little bits of glass in his hair from where he hit the lamppost as well. So.
Okay, what should I do right now? So you still have 3 spider bots here, yeah?
3 spider bots, yeah.
Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach into my gadget belt.
Sure.
And hopefully I have some form of net that I can throw onto at least one of the spider bots to try and immobilize it for now.
Sure. You want to try to hinder a bot? That sounds great.
Yes.
You've got 2 bots that are looking pretty healthy, and 1 bot that's looking not very healthy.
I'll go for the healthy one.
Healthy bot. All right, let's go ahead and make a hinder check. So
okay.
Go for a gadget, it sounds like?
Yes, it'll be a gadget for a D8.
Yeah.
It'll be, let's see, what do we, ranged? Fitness, close combat,
yeah, it'll be ranged combat. You're throwing a net, yeah.
Yep.
And you're still in the green zone, I think.
I need a D8, and I'm still in the green, so D10.
Right.
So 4 is my middle.
4, excellent. So that is a -2. So you have caught one of these bots. It's got a -2 because it's wrapped up in this net. I'm very confused.
Yes.
So excellent.
Yep. I will then have to pass the turn.
Yep.
I will pass it to those spider bots.
Okay. Oh, the spider bots. All right. So the D4 spider bot is going to stab at Legacy in the. It's like it's got one thing like
God damn! Stop trying to hug me.
And it does no damage to you.
Yes. Because -2 because of the platinum and yellow.
Exactly. Right. So it does 2 damage to you, and you're like, no, that's fine. The spider bot that's got the net on it is going to turn and try to shoot some webs at you.
Okay.
But we'll see how much the webs get caught in the net. So it shoots
For a 2.
For a 2. And so all the webs get caught into the net. So it shoots webs at you, the webs get caught in the net, but the webs and the net fall off to the side, and then you two are staring at each other, and it's a showdown. And the last spider bot that's there is going to shoot a laser beam at you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're loving these laser beams.
And it's just a 2, so you take the
2 damage? Okay, I'm on 21.
And then they will pass it to absolute 0.
So, having dealt with mine, and of course this regulator is not going to be an issue.
I can't see
and
how it
The
would
flick
be.
it seems okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Just got to reboot it later. I'm going
What's
to...
the point of regulating things?
Exactly. I'm going to freeze the ground in front of me
Sure.
to get a running start
Yeah.
and slide my way to where Legacy is.
Zoom. You do so.
I surf in.
Yeah.
And,
Very coolly.
Yep. And then I'm going to, because I'm seeing that Legacy isn't so much in trouble, and this is the moments that I live for in life.
Of course.
I'm actually just going to use.
Okay?
I'm going to use my ice shield to protect Legacy,
That sounds great.
and so ice
Defending
shield,
legacy.
defend using cold, and I think I'm actually like, oh, you need a hand there, Legacy? I'm going to use my banter.
Yeah.
And D8 for.
That's great. All right. And
So I defend
what
with my
else?
max die. So the next damage that Legacy would take is reduced by 6.
Sure.
And I boost the target of the defense using my min die, which is a 2, which is going to be a +1 to your next action.
All right. So you have an ice shield. That ice shield is giving you it's a defense of 6. So I'm writing D6, but it doesn't mean it's just a 6-sided die. But you also have a +1 on your next action.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. And who would you like to pass?
I believe it is just Legacy that remains, so
Yeah.
I will do so.
So Legacy stands up and shakes some of the glass out of his hair.
Sure.
Looks around him. Friends have turned up. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Now it's 3v3.
Yeah.
Now it's a real fight.
Yeah.
I mean, we each took out 3.
We're not talking
Who's
about that.
counting?
We'll talk about that later.
No, I'm going to talk about it now.
Thanks, guys, for showing up. I could always use the help. And I'm going to go for the one that is right in front of me, the little tiny weakling one.
Yep, sure.
It is just
is
my
a good
nemesis at this point. And I'm going to stay behind the shield, using it for my protection, because Absolute Zero is put there for a reason.
Right.
I'm going to make sure that he uses it. He's part of my team.
Yeah.
And I'm going to reach out with my boot, and I'm going to kick it into the rubble in front of me.
Sounds
My
great.
attack. So yeah, I'm going to go for a basic, I'm going to go strength, close combat, stuff like that.
Sure,
I'm gonna go
sure.
for that. So yeah. D10 for my strength. That is 8.
There you go.
And I get a +1 to this on the dice.
Yes,
So,
you
yeah,
do.
So. Oh yeah. So my middle one is a
5.
5, so it gets +1, so it's 6.
Excellent. So you used up the +1. You still have the defense of 6 until that ice shield goes away. So you've got that damage coming. The Spider-Bot rolls his D4 and is definitely destroyed. You could not destroy that with an attack. I mean, if you got 0 or fewer damage, but other than that, yeah.
The way I've been rolling, maybe Legacy would have done that. But
Yeah, we'll see. And so there you do it. So it is the end of the round. You can pass it to whoever you want to. You can pass it to either of your friends, or you can pass it to my Spider-Bots. Don't know why you would do that, but you could.
Because they've showed up and they're helping me out, I'm going to pass it to Absolute Zero.
All
He's my
right.
buddy, he's my
Okay.
pal, he's been helping me out. And I'm going to say, you're so cool in these situations, Zero. Make sure
No,
you
no, no.
finish these guys
Don't.
off.
You can't do the cold jokes. I do the cold jokes on the team.
But God, I've been practicing this for ages, man. At least let me have this. The crowd are watching.
I guess things are heating up between these two.
No, see, it's.
No, that's not a cold joke. I swear that's not a cold joke.
Yes, I'll pass it over to Zero.
So we have PvP rules now, right?
Yeah, we do. We've got a whole chapter about it. Not really.
The ice shield shatters.
Inward.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use my heat sink power against one of the bots,
Sure.
which attacks using absorption and hinders that target with my min die.
All right. So
My absorption is at a D10. I'm going to be doing range combat because I'm sort of staying out of things.
Sure, you're
and
trying
just-
to pull cold from it from over there.
Yep.
Or pull heat from it, rather.
and a D8 for my status. And so my attack, my min die, is an awesome 1.
That's great.
I'll deal 1 point of damage.
No, because you hinder with your mid. You're attacking with your mid.
Yeah, my mid is a 1 as well.
Oh,
it
you
turns
rolled
out.
2 1. I couldn't see them from this
Yeah, on
angle.
a D10.
All right.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Some of Legacy's power is rubbing off on you guys.
Oh, you're right. These are actually really good spider bots.
These are just better than
we
the
had
others.
underestimated them.
There was 3 little weak spider bots that attacked power plant, and 3 little weak spider bots that attacked
Hang on, I
headquarters.
used explosives.
Seriously, these guys were like this big. These are massive.
These spider bots are just better. So you attack, and you manage to get enough cold into its system that you do damage it.
Regulator.
But right there you go, it's come back. And then you hindered a little bit. The ice is kind of crinkling around its form, so it's in worse shape than it was before, but it's still up. Would you like to pass?
I'm going to throw it to the spider bots.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's great. That's so nice. So one of them's going to attack you. The D4 spider bot, the one that you just iced, turns and zaps a laser at you.
Oh, you have lasers too.
Yeah, they got lasers too. That's the thing. These ones have lasers. And
mine didn't have lasers.
let's see. And this one deals 4 damage to you, but it's reduced by 1 because you're hindered. So it does 3 damage, which is more than any of the spider bots that you saw before it could do. And then the other spider bot that's over by the wraith that was lasering at you stops lasering. Only one spider bot can laser at a time. That would be ridiculous for more than one spider bot to laser. And so it just dives on you with the stabby feet and does 5 damage.
Ow!
Yeah.
Let's see. So 5, that takes me to 16.
But then it's your turn.
Yes, it's my turn. I am now into the yellow status, which is going to knock my status dice down by 1 to a D8. So I think we need to study one of these for science. So I do believe it's going to be time to actually try and grapple this thing to the ground.
Yeah.
And perhaps use my grappling hook's cable to maybe try tearing the legs off it.
Sure thing. That sounds great.
Yeah. So it would be gadgets, close combat, and status of yellow. So D8, D8, D8.
So you're making an attack, but you're attempting to save the torso of the spider in the process.
I'm trying to see if I can actually get this thing back to my lab so I can figure out who the hell sent these things.
Sure thing.
And
you're attacking the one that's injured or the one that's not injured? There's one that's injured and it's got some ice on
right
it.
beside me.
Yeah, that's the one.
And stabbing me, so it has to be that.
All right.
So let's see what I get. My mid die is a 5.
This is great. So it rolls its defense. It's got its D6, and it's going to roll a 2.
Yes.
And this is delightful. I was actually really hoping this would happen. So you've destroyed it, certainly, and in the process, you've disabled enough that you could get it back to your lab, and you use your cable to tear its legs off. But one of the things that you did not catch, the thing that you missed earlier, in fact, a clue, an important clue, was that each of the spiders on the bottom of the bot, on the bottom of the robot, has a little device that was some sort of like transmitting device. You don't know this, but any of the comic book readers at home get to see this thing that the Wraith missed that device is there. And as you use the cable to tear off its legs, you also destroy the device on the bottom of the robot. So you've destroyed the robot, and you've got the chassis still there, but you've destroyed whatever transponder you could use to try to save that signal.
I see. Do I notice this time?
No. That's the clue that you missed. I'm letting you know that's the clue that you missed.
Yeah.
So you are aware, but Wraith is not aware. Yeah, but you might now be able to become aware, or somebody else might notice. There's some important information about those robots.
Well, I suppose as I'm lifting this thing, putting my knee into its back, with the cable pulling against the legs, would the other two perhaps see it?
Possible.
Legacy's got glass in his eyes.
So it's that was the end of the round. So you can pass it to anybody you like. And so I mean, as a thing, as you destroy it, you were attempting to be able to preserve this thing.
Yes.
And so you're like, oh man, I'm gonna chop this legs off, but then it'll still be a working robot.
Yeah.
And when you ran that cable down it shut down.
Yeah.
You're like, I just tore its legs off, and it entirely shut down. Something happened. So you're aware that your plan didn't work. You don't know what you missed, but you know you missed something, and you know that the thing that you just did caused a problem. Yeah. So, there's one spider bot operating left, and you've gained some information here.
Yes. Who did I pass it to? I think I'll pass it to that spider bot.
Oh, okay.
Because that could be useful.
All right. So this is LaserBot. This is the bot that just lasered to you. No longer has a -1 because the process
There's a D4
of heating up its laser to fire at you managed to. So it's like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better. So it shoots another laser at you.
Odd choice.
Oh wow! These robots are so good. No wonder. Legacy, I don't.
I take it all back, Legacy.
Seriously, they're as big as houses.
Absolute Zero like, I can't see how these things could possibly be hurting you, and then Absolute Zero takes 7 damage. It's like, never mind.
Revise my opinion.
Right? So anyway, and I'll pass it to Absolute Zero.
All right. Well, Lamo.
Sure.
There's something to about this.
Has Wraith said anything about the fact that she noticed that the one bot that she tried to save got damaged in the process?
Don't destroy it. We need to figure out who sent these.
Only I had a way to preserve something while attacking it. Some kind of element.
Okay. It's like fire?
No.
Lightning. Heart.
Heart. Yes, definitely.
Power of love.
Or how about I freeze this, and then we see what we can get out of it.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So, what kind of attack are you making here?
I'm going to do a basic, just cold kind of freezing attack.
Sure. Sure.
So, cold, my D12. I'm going to use creativity to try and encase it.
Sure.
Instead of my usual freeze it till it stops moving.
You're just freezing it until it stops moving in a different way.
Right.
You must be so handy for a summer barbecue.
Charge extra for that. All right, here we go.
The kids' party.
Mid-die is an 8.
All right, so it D4, it rolls as D4. 5. So you manage to encapsulate it perfectly in a block of ice, and in fact, you do so well with that you make a couple little handles on the side so you can easily pick it up and carry it. And the spider bot
artistic.
There's creativity.
Yeah.
Use the creativity.
And the it's wrapped up to take away. So.
Yeah. The bug de Milo.
All right. Okay. We are no longer in round time in the scene. The ice shield on its own will go ahead and melt, but the damage regulators are still a thing. But who knows? So you're there in this city center here, and you've got some broken robots. One nicely captured robot. Yeah. What's going on? What do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to start examining the one that I've got here just to see exactly how much of it is still intact.
Sure.
Try and figure out exactly what broke on it to shut it down.
And I don't even need you to roll for that. You're good at gadgets. You know what you're doing. You've got some various devices you can pull out and scan it, and you're like, oh, here's the deal. This chassis here, the body of this robot, it's all gears, servos, all the stuff that it needs to do the stuff. The thing on the bottom, that was the brain, and that was also in some way some sort of receiver. And when that popped off, that destroyed the whole thing. Yeah. So you now know all the things. Okay. You're caught up. Yeah.
I would then possibly ask Legacy to break open and hold the bot that's there.
Cool. So Legacy, he turns around as Ray says this, but then he looks to see the civilians that have been running away. He says, "Hold on, Ray. I just need to check something."
Okay.
So are we sure we want Legacy handling this task? I mean,
don't worry, guys. I'm still here.
I feel break the ice. This is the problem here. You just make more ice. I don't need it more frozen.
I'm just going to untangle your cape real quick, just so we're
on his face. Legacy sort of does that dashing look for a second, then he goes over to make sure the civilians are all right. Sure. He goes over and makes sure that none of them are too injured, or if anything there are, he makes sure that some medics come over and help them.
Sure.
He goes, "Don't worry, Wraith. I'll be over there in a second. We'll figure this out. But watch out, and look after these guys first." So yeah.
That's great. That's great. So there's a few things we can do here in this interim point. In that there are you can investigate stuff with the spider bot to try to learn anything more about the spider bot with maybe an overcome check of some sort. There are medics, of course, here that are set up to help people, and those medics, and also there's engineers that are repairing buildings and repairing all sorts of robotics things. And
I need you and your tools.
And so those medics and or engineers might be able to help you recover some health. So we're in kind of a montage scene now in which you can choose to figure out stuff with the spider bot or regain health from a medic or an engineer, and those are kind of your best options unless there's something else you specifically want to do.
Okay, I will grab a group of engineers and have them begin examining the spider bot with me.
Oh, sure. That's going to be great.
Legacy's not too big to admit that he's hurt, so he's going to go into some of the medics and he's going to get down with them and he's going to make sure that everyone else is fine, but then he's going to be like, "I got caught up pretty bad there, but you guys know what you're doing. Help me out here, guys."
Sorry, do you have any solvent? I need this webbing off. Otherwise my cape's going to stain it and this doesn't come out.
This is just sticky.
And what about you, Absolute Zero?
I've got these regulators and also large claw marks / laser marks that I need dealt with.
Interesting.
Just like some soldering or whatever. Yeah.
They can just like
duct tape.
Go to any of those into the cracks in the armor and fill it full of a foam and put some tape over it.
Why don't we?
It's a good enough patch for now. So you can recover health up. So you can normally in a monstrosity, if you're going to take do an action to regain some health, which is what you're doing, you can recover up to the maximum of the next zone up.
Cool.
And since you're just in the yellow zone, you can go up to the top of the green zone is the next zone up to the top of the green. Awesome. I am going to put a limitation on you because you also have these damage regulators. Yep. I'll let you go up to the top of the current zone, and then also.
So I can go all the way back up to 32.
You can go back up to the top. You're getting healed up. Whereas Absolute Zero is only going to the yellow, but damage regulators totally fixed. They're like, look, we don't. This suit is way too high tech for us to be able to repair the giant holes in it. We can patch those up to the point you're not in big trouble. But these regulators, actually. This is my jam. I can fix that. No problem. So that's just kind of.
You know what?
Gone.
After this, go take some night classes, learn about robo-suits as the field of the future. You can send the bill to Montgomery Industries, just no reason.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Whoa, why am I footing the bill?
I'll find you on LinkedIn.
What do you mean you're footing the
What do you
bill?
mean? No, this is going on inside my head.
Oh, okay, all right.
The Wraith looks up and goes, what?
I'm sure whoever owns Montgomery Industries can afford this kind of thing, so it'll be fine.
Speaking of Montgomery Industries, so I'd like you to roll an overcome check for me. So you are going to be using power, quality, status. What are you looking for here?
Power quality?
Power, quality, and status. What's your power?
Well, the power I would use for this is possibly deduction.
That makes sense.
Because I'm looking at the thing, I'm trying to study it.
Sure.
I'm also investigating.
Sure, that's great.
Again, trying to discover. So it's a D6, a D10, and a D8.
Yeah, all right. So grab those three, and you've got a +2 bonus here from the engineers that you pulled in to help.
Okay. Likewise, if you want to flip back to your abilities here.
Oh yeah, actually, this is even a better point here.
Oh,
so you have
the detective.
Yep. So go ahead and read that.
Overcome to learn hidden information. Use your max die. You and each of your allies gain a hero point.
Right. So the hero point thing, I'll talk about a little bit separately. But everybody's got 2 green abilities that come from their principles, and in fact, they're named after the principle that they're tied to. That are just things that are ways that you can do overcomes or other things that interact with the scene. That like this is because I'm playing to my principles. I'm better at this thing. So you're trying to figure out hidden information. Very much so. What you're doing here, trying to figure out what the deal is with this robot. So you can use your max die instead of your mid die when you make this roll.
Cool. So. With a +2, you said.
Mm-hmm.
That will be 5 becomes 7.
There you go. So that is a success, but with a minor twist.
Yes, it is.
All right. So you succeed in that you figure out what the deal is with this brain here. It's not just the brain that controls the whole robot. It is also a transponder that is going to some remote location that the signal is coming from. This is the signal that is controlling this robot, the thing that is driving this robot. It's not fully autonomous. It's being controlled by something somewhere, and you're in fact able to tell that something somewhere that's controlling this is within a few kilometers. It's here in the city. Do you have a minor twist, or shall I?
I will allow you for this one,
wow!
It should be entertaining.
Oh well. So that minor twist is gonna be a couple little things we're going to see soon, but the important one, the first thing that happens is as you're figuring this out and you're relaying this information to the other heroes, I assume, you're like, hey, this is coming from something. Do you want to share this information?
Of course. So, I'm calling it out to the guys as they're getting healed or welded. It's fine.
This is great.
Don't do the welding on me in the,
No, the foam goes over
Somebody needed a torch welder? No one needed a torch welder.
Legacy's cape's on fire.
So as you're relaying this information, you all get a call on your hero brand earpiece communicators, but it's not from any of you. You're all here, and it's not from Tachyon and Bunker, who are still over in Birmingham. Instead, it's from someone else entirely. It's from another hero that you all know well, a hero named the Argent Adept. Where is he? There he is. Argent Adept is a cool hero who uses. Here's a picture of him. This is the Argent Adept,
cool
and he uses magic and music. He uses music to make his magic, and he is the Virtuoso of the Void is his title, and he is an ally of the hero that made the tree that's here in the city. And he calls you in, you hear this voice, and he says, "Greetings, it is I, the Argent Adept, and I am here in your fair city of Megalopolis. Yes, Greetings, heroes. I must ask you, are you doing a strange hero defense thing in your city, in which you protect your city with a series of tiny spidery automatons?
Yes. Can you get to the point?
Yes, there's these spidery automatons that are all over the tree that I'm here to investigate and protect. It's got very many of these spiders on it, and I wondered if they were your spiders?
No, I don't think do we have a tech guy on the team yet? I don't think we have a tech guy on the team yet. No, I don't think those are ours.
Not your spiders. That is very concerning to hear. I was hoping these would be your spiders. If they are not, I will cleanse the tree of them myself, for I am the virtuoso of the void, and I can deal with these spiders with a mere wave of my hand.
Just before
Watch as the spiders... Ah! And with a terrifying scream, the line goes dead.
Are you still there?
Hello?
Not at all.
Well,
I told you these spiders were much more deadly than we first thought.
But
We need to get over there.
On the flip side, he did finally shut up.
That is also true, Zero, but we should definitely go over there and see if he's all right.
I think I'm gonna just turn around and go, right, onto the motorbike, off we go, let's go, come on.
I'll see you guys there. I'm going to go and scout ahead, see what I can see.
All right. So
With burning rubber, I spin around and head off up the road.
All right. So you're on the motorcycle heading to the tree.
Yes.
You're on the flying heading to the tree.
Yep.
You're walking.
I'm going to take the bus.
I like that one of them jumps on the motorcycle. It's definitely big enough for two people and rides off. The other one, who's definitely strong enough to carry like a bus, flies off, and you're like, "Thanks, guys." I'm just gonna.
Legacy realizes this as he flies over to the sky. Floats back
You're
down
not
the
carrying me. It's fine. I shoot a little bolt of ice at the back of the motorcycle and also freeze under me and just kind of surf behind.
That's true. Yeah.
That's far cooler
was
than
hoping
what I
you'd
was
do
doing.
that.
You feel a little extra drag, but it's not too bad. It seems to be a pretty frictionless surface.
Okay. Yeah, just look, keep the ice behind the back wheel.
Oh, sorry.
Remember that minor twist we talked about earlier? No, that's a different thing. So, heroes, you approach the tree. Legacy, you're flying up ahead, overhead, and you can see the tree coming up in the distance. And of course, you can see the tree from anywhere in the city. This is a towering, colossal tree. But as you get closer, it seems like the bark of the tree, the entire bark of the tree, is moving and like glinting as it does. And as you get a little bit closer, you realize, oh no, it is thousands of spider bots that are just spiraling around and around the base of the bark of this tree. This giant tree's got tens of thousands of spider bots that are spinning and spinning and spinning and moving their way around this tree. And so that seems good.
So Legacy's got to get on his radio and he's be like, guys, it seems like we got a lot more of a problem here. They're all over this place. They're all over the tree. We need to find out where this is coming from and shut it down now.
You've got this, right?
I mean, I'd love to, but I think I'd really like your help.
So as you're heading to the tree, and remember those three spider bots that you faced? This is just, we're going to have a quick side, you and me. Remember those three
in the back
spider
of Legacy's
bots?
head.
Yeah. Remember how fun those three spider bots were?
They were so great.
This seems like a lot.
For a lot more than three.
I'm just putting that out there. I'm sure it's fine. So the two of you are heading. You can't take quite as direct of a route as Legacy, what with the crow flies situation. But you're still making good time and getting there pretty speedily. But on your way to the spider bot, to the spider bot infested tree. Sorry. Hold on. In fact, I have a thing here. Where are my spider bots? Here they are. Hordes of harvesters. I have this horde of harvesters that is spiraling around and around the tree. So far, you guys have faced minions. You faced spider-bot minions. There's also other types of opponents, such as lieutenants and full-on villains that have a complete character sheet, much like a hero does, that has some differences, but it's still a thing. Hero points. You know what? I'll save the discussion of hero points for the end of the session, because it won't matter until then.
Okay.
But
just making sure to mark one.
Yeah, you totally can. But we'll talk about that at the end. But it's a fair point anyway. Anyway, so hordes of harvesters around the tree. So there's various challenges in the game. This is a challenge that cannot be dealt with just by punching.
By conventional means.
Something else has to be done to deal with it. And so there's going to be various challenges that pop up here. Don't worry about it. As you're heading, you cross a bridge. There's a bridge over a river. There's a major river that runs here through Megalopolis, right around kind of the bend of the park, of Legacy Park. In fact, there's a park here called Legacy Park that this tree is growing out of. And as you cross the river, you both spot over to the side in the river this towering, glistening metal thing crawling up out of the river. It's another spider, but It is a much larger spider.
Oh, dearie me. And it's got eggs under it.
It's a large spider, and in fact, as it crawls up out of the river, it kind of lowers itself onto its legs and wiggles a bit, and a clutch of eggs falls out of the bottom out of the spider. And those clutch of eggs, as they hit the ground, the metal shells spiral open, and a group of spider bots emerge out of the bottom of it. So where do we have here? Oh, it's the spider mothership. Finish writing that thing. Yeah. And that is a D10. And we also have some spider bots, and it's going to lay same card because it won't matter, except there's 5 of them. All right, so we've got so spider mothership there. It lays some spider eggs, and you saw to scale how small those eggs were compared to the mothership. Yeah. This is easily like 15 feet tall. Right. So this is much larger, much scarier. And yes, we've got the mothership. We've got some spider bots, and you're going over the bridge. That seems good. As you're making this progress here, Legacy, you notice as you're flying, you get closer and closer to the tree, that there's a bunch of large wiggling figures up in the branches of the tree. Hanging from the boughs and the branches of the tree are these cords of web down to roughly humanoid size shaped bundles of web that are wiggling and writhing from the tree, and so those are things that probably need to be dealt with. And by dealt with, I mean rescued, probably, maybe.
Sounds like a good idea.
Right. Let's see, other challenges, other exciting things. We'll do that one last. It'll be fun.
This sounds fine.
Right. Everything's fine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Yeah. The Legacy, while you're flying directly at the tree, so you are with the direct route that you're taking. Yes. You're kind of on the north side of the tree, and the buildings are ringing more on the southwest side. Okay. You guys are going across this bridge right on the other side of the buildings, and from the top of the buildings, there come some shots of some snipers that are firing at you. These are spider bots that have webbed themselves up against the side of a building and then have extended an extended laser barrel and are shooting laser shots at you. The 4 shots managed to miss you from the 4 bots. They do miss you because you're doing such a good job with the motorcycling and the sliding. But you're aware of them now, and they are continuing to zero in on your location. There should have been just the 3 Spider-Bot snipers, but there's a 4th as the minor twist from the thing earlier that you had to deal with. They got a little bit more time to set up because they knew you were coming. Right. So, and of course, the only other note for this scene is Argent Adept's out there somewhere. He has something happened to him. Not really sure where he is, and he probably should be rescued in some way if you're into that kind of thing. So, quick recap: we've got a spider mothership laying eggs. Yep. We've got some spider snipers that are shooting at anybody that approaches the tree. We've got some webbed human shields up in the tree, as well as hordes of harvesters circling around the tree. And Argent Adept out there somewhere. The last piece is a thing that I talked about earlier, but that we didn't have in the last scene, and that's a scene tracker. Oh, okay. All right. All of these things, all of these elements are things that can be passed to in the scene. So the 3 of you are actors in the scene, and all of these note cards are actors in the scene. Any of them can be passed to. They can each take a turn. Some of them will do obvious things on their turn. Some of them will do less obvious things on their turn. A couple of them will do essentially nothing on their turn, such as Argent Adept. So he's not going to save himself. So so there we go. And with that, Legacy, I'll let you start us off since you're flying in and you've got your shot here. Right. What do you want to do?
Cool. So immediately he sees those webbed human shields dangling from the tree, and he sees a swarm of harvesters going. He knows his 2 friends here have clearly got some skill dealing with these spider bots.
They seem pretty okay at it, yeah.
And so he's like, well, guys, I need to go and help rescue some of the civilians. The spider bots seem to have webbed some of the civilians up in the tree, and they might be encroaching on them. We need to go and save these people as soon as we can. Right. If I'm over there, maybe I'll see Adept as well. And as he goes, I'm going to bamf over as quickly as I can towards these human shields. And if I can, try and work out a way to sort of grab a couple of them, sort of tie them to my arm, try and lift them away.
All right. So this is an overcome check.
Yes.
do you have any sort of principle?
I do.
Do you?
I do. I have principle of a hero.
The principle of the hero. What is
And
that?
I'm going to say this all in Legacy's voice.
Please do.
Overcoming a situation in which innocent people are in immediate danger, use your max die. You and each of your allies gain a hero point.
Great.
So we're going to go for that.
You get to use your max die on that. That's a fantastic.
Yeah.
So, what does your overcome check here look like?
Cool. So I reckon I'm going to go with flight because that's
Sure.
what I'm going over there.
That sounds great.
I'm going to try and use my America's Finest thing. I think
Yeah.
at this point because I'm going in there to save everybody as much as I can.
Absolutely, that makes sense.
And then at this point, my status is still green, so I'm using that. So
Right. So you got 2d8 and a d6.
2d8 and d6.
And you get to use your max rolling die.
Ooh la la.
An 8!
Yeah,
An
I
8.
do.
An 8 is a complete success. No twist of any sort. You fly in there, you grab half of the people that are around there. You manage to wrap a bunch of them, and you...
Coiled around my arm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Half of the human shields have been taken out of the tree. You manage to fly them to a nearby building that's a
Dropped us on the
stable
roof
building.
and
Yeah.
stuff, yeah. And I'm watching out for the next one to see if I can. See the
Excellent.
Spidey one as well.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Well done, Legacy.
I finally did something. As long as I'm not fighting spider bots, I'm fine.
Yeah, don't worry, there's not very many spider bots in this scene.
So yeah, I'm going to pass over to Wraith.
Okay, so as we are blitzing in towards the scene,
Yeah.
as we come within range of the building with the sniper spiders,
Yeah.
I'm going to launch my grappling hook up to the top of the building
Yeah.
and set it to maximum tension to actually draw myself up the building.
Sure thing.
And as I go flying past, I'm going to try and hit at least one of them.
I love it. I have a quick question. Yeah, no, go ahead. Do this whole thing, and then I'll ask my quick question afterwards.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. No, we'll get there. We'll get there.
I know your question already.
But let's focus on the important part first,
Yes.
which is you're gonna punch a spider bot and run up the side of a building.
Well, I mean, I assume I have a machete of some form.
Yeah, right. No, this is great. So, what is your what power quality status do you have for this? And is there an ability that you're
I'm using grappling hook.
Oh, okay, great.
So it's an attack using ranged combat, then remove a physical bonus or penalty, hinder a target using your min die, or move to elsewhere in the environment.
Okay, so do the attack first, and then you'll choose which of the next three
Yep.
three things you want to do.
So technically it's close combat, but it's actually ranged because I am the projectile.
Yeah, no, this is great. So you're using your ranged combat.
So that's a D8.
Yeah.
I would assume I need to use my agility for this.
That makes sense. The move you're making is a very agile one.
Yep, and I'm still on yellow for my health.
There you go.
So it's 3D8. For a
Wow, that's fantastic. And so with this, you are attacking using your mid die, right?
Yes,
with the
attacking
ability?
using the mid die.
That's fantastic. So the spider sniper, these are stronger ones. They have a bit more defense because of their encroached positions there.
Yes.
And so the entrenched positions is the word I meant. Anyway, so this spider bot sniper is going to roll its defense. If it rolls an 8, it survives.
Ah.
Hey.
Dun.
Ah. Hit. Whoa!
It bounces off.
Well, so you zip up that building. Yeah. You damage it greatly. You've definitely injured one of them. You slice it up the side, and it's like, and you still get to do one more thing there as part of the end of that ability that you have.
Yes, I have the option either to move to another part of the environment.
Sure.
Or to hinder it with my min die, which would be a -6.
So the 6 was your hinder, and then on the chart that's a -2. But still, you can hinder that target with the -2 if you like.
Yeah, but I think because of the way I'm actually doing this, thematically it makes more sense that I am launched up to the top of the building.
Oh, you can get up to the top of the building as part of this. Like,
Alright.
that was your action. I don't have a problem with you getting to the top of the building and
Alright.
still hindering this on the way. Like,
Fair
that's
enough.
all. That's
It's if you wanted to get away after that and kind of swing away.
yeah.
You could do
You
that
were,
with
you
grappling
were
hook.
in with the 4 of them. If you wanted to say, and after I do that, then I swing away somewhere else. So I go to the tree. You could do that. But if you want to stay with them, give them the -2.
You see, this is what I think by moving to the other part of the scene, I am launched up onto the roof of the building out of their sight.
Oh, sorry. They're on the roof of the building.
Oh.
That's where they're sniping from.
I understand.
there's-
I thought they were like clinging to the side of the building. back in.
So the roof of the building is like this, and they're here on the edge of the roof of the building, sniping down from there.
Gotcha.
So when you're like, I'm going to go up to the roof of the building, I'm like, yep, that's where they are.
Yeah, okay, that's fine with me then.
Okay, great. So you get both, all the things you wanted in life, including new friends.
I may be about to regret my life choices.
What's the worst? Snipers can't hit things that are near them, right?
I've played enough video games. Yeah, that's what it
You
works
know,
out.
I'm sure I can probably find some way to help myself right now.
Probably, I imagine so. Right, back to that interesting question I had.
Yes, I know what you're going to ask.
What is the motorcycle doing once you grapple swing off of it?
Well, it was on full throttle.
Right, it was, yeah.
So I assume it's still on full throttle and losing speed now.
Right, so who do you want to pass the initiative to now? Do you want to pass it to the snipers? Do you want to pass it to Argent Adepts?
Oh, no, I will pass it to Zero so he can get out of the way.
Okay, Absolute Zero. You were tethered via a strand of ice to the back of a motorcycle on a frictionless surface, enjoying yourself, zooming right along. You noticed to one side that there was a spider, a large spider that crawled out of a river. Cool. Laid some eggs. Less cool. Kind of gross. Weird. You noticed to the left on the top of this tall building there were some snipers. They were shooting. The Wraith also noticed those snipers. Oh, look! There she goes up the building. The motorcycle in front of you is starting to do that thing that motorcycles start to do right before things get real bad. What would you like to do?
So we don't have free action in this game, but I would like to take one anyway, and that is let out the biggest sigh you've ever heard.
Yes.
That's going to be what I lead with.
That requires a major twist.
I think we're already there.
I think we're there, yeah. So,
and then as we're kind of like, starting to make an arc up, I'm going to make myself a ramp to shoot myself up into the sky as well, and try and see if I can spot Argent Adept while being thrown up. Via ice ramp.
You're like, I can see everything. I'm getting a lot closer to everything. All right, so
this is how legacy feels.
So what's your? So this is an overcome check. What power, quality, and status? And is there a principle that you're involving yourself in here? Principle of the why me?
I'm using principle of dependence because...
Oh my gosh, that's actually really good. Yeah.
Because flinging myself off a spiraling motorcycle off an ice ramp it would be difficult to breathe or react in those circumstances, but I fortunately have a sealed suit.
You've got this power suit, yeah.
Yep, and so I'm going to rely upon that to hopefully keep me alive while doing this thing that I'm doing.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. So I'm going to cold as a D12.
Yeah, making that ramp.
I'm cool under pressure, it turns out.
I was going to make an argument for creativity, but no, this is cool under pressure to
It's just a ramp, is the thing I'm actually making.
I meant for the looking for Argent Adept while you're up there. Yeah. But that's cool under pressure, yeah.
And my status is...
Frequent. And you get to use your max die.
Yes, which is still only, a 6.
Oh, it's 6.
Yep.
All right, so you succeed with the minor twist. Dave, do you have a... So, sure enough, as you launch up into the air, you have a mere moment of slight, almost panic, but no, you're cool under pressure. You've been in far worse situations than this, sad to say.
It's a record screech.
I'm wondering how I ended up here. So yeah, you're up there in the air, and you're like, man, I don't see him anywhere. But as you start to come back down, you're like, oh, look there in the kind of in the shadow of a building. There's a pile of rubble that is clearly collapsed, and there's a group of 3 spider bots that are over there that seem to be just kind of patrolling around randomly in that area around the rubble. But there, out of the corner of the rubble, you see a leather boot that would only be worn by somebody who's either going to a Renaissance fair or is so pretentious to call themselves the Argent Adept. So yes, you've succeeded on locating the first of the 3 challenges of locating the Argent Adept. You have done so. You know where he is, and you know the situation that he's in. That's great. Let's go to that minor twist. Do you have a minor twist in mind for this situation?
I'm going to throw it back to you.
Okay, cool. You're falling. That's the minor twist. You rolled a 2, a 6, and 6. You're going to take the min die of damage. Surprisingly, your suit is actually suited for this kind of thing pretty well, because though it's not optimized for flight, certainly, Tachyon, who helped build your suit, the chief engineer on the suit and the designer, is aware that you end up in a lot of pretty negative situations, and so it fires off.
Obviously caused by Wraith, apparently.
You had your moment.
The damage you take is much less about hitting the ground. The damage you take is the fact that the suit recognizes that it's reaching terminal velocities. Open up some vent in the front and vents a lot of cold air out to act as kind of thrusters so that you land pretty softly. But that vented a lot of cold air out, which means hot air came in.
Ow.
But you only take 2 damage, and you don't die.
That's good. That's
key.
More of a major twist. Yes.
Major twist, death, turns out. That's also an origin.
A light bit of sunburn, you'll be fine.
All right. So, I believe the three of you have all acted.
We have, yes.
This round. How you doing, Absolute Zero? Who would you like to pass it to?
Oh boy,
You have
so
this
many
menu,
options.
the plethora of options.
You know, I'd really like to see Wraith's plan for what's happening on that rooftop. So I think we're gonna go up to these spider snipers.
All right, cool. So, two of these Spider-Bot snipers, they have very different tactics than the Spider-Bots you've faced thus far. Their job is to be a laser gun, period. That's what they're doing. There's the rooftop you're on up here has this kind of like the kind of diamond of 4 Spider-Bots that are webbed to it, and one of them is sliced on the way by. Excellent. That one is gonna swivel around and try to shoot at you, but it's got a -2 to its action and it's damaged.
I would like to react though.
Oh, I'm excited. What would you like to do?
As I land on the rooftop, I throw down some smoke bombs to actually create some cover for myself.
That sounds great. So what does the smoke bomb's ability do for you?
So the smoke bombs, I can only use them in the yellow status, but
Sure.
I've already taken that bit of damage.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
didn't get
there.
a chance to heal. So when you would take damage, you may defend using gadgets.
Sure. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know, to give you some kind of like knowledge of what's coming up. Two of them, so to describe what's happening, there's this diamond of Spider-Bots. The two of them that are the forward most, the edge of the building most, are continuing to track other things going on in the scene, are going to shoot at other things in the scene. But the damaged one and the backmost undamaged one are going to swivel around to point at you.
Yeah.
So you've got an undamaged one, or rather a damaged one and an undamaged one that's going to shoot at you. And the damaged one has a -2 to its action.
Yes.
You can choose to use that reaction one time around. Would you like to use it on the first one that shoots at you?
No.
So one of them swivels around, fires off a shot at you, and in fact,
gets a 5.
Gets a 5, but it's reduced to 3 by the 2. So it shoots you. You take 3 damage.
Okay, I'm on 13.
In response to that, as the other one goes to shoot you,
I will now drop a smoke bomb. And it only does the one.
I remember that part where I talked you into using it on the worst of the two.
So technically,
right? As I say, you could have chosen to use it on the 5.
It's fine.
And then you only did it because it was when you would take damage, so you don't have to declare it until you're.
Oh, cool.
about
So
to
you
take
can
damage.
still use it on the 5 to reduce that. Then.
So like, I'm fine. You can just take the 1 damage instead.
Well, I will roll my gadgets of a D8. See how much I save myself by.
Sure. So you're going to take 3 from the Spider-Bot.
By 5.
There you go. So you only take the 1 from the other laser.
Okay. So that actually becomes 15.
There you go. Yeah, you're still doing fine. And only 2 are shooting at you, and one of them's not very good at shooting.
Oh my
It's
God!
the one
It's
that
on
hits harder.
fire.
But
I don't see anything.
it's because you're laying face down in some rubble.
Oh yeah.
How did I get here?
All right, and so we've got 2 more Spider-Bot snipers, and they're tracking things in the scene. One of them has been just tracking something that's just been flying in a very straight line, and sure enough, it's going to shoot at that one thing in a straight line for 4 damage. Now you're in the green zone, so you only take the 3.
Yeah.
The other one was tracking kind of like this, and it was tracking in a line, and then it went up in its tracking, and then it went back down. And once it was no longer moving, it adds insult to injury and fire.
7.
Oh. That's insult and injury.
How you doing there?
I'm at 13.
Oh, that's great.
I'm still in the yellow.
That's great.
Everything's
You're
fine.
doing great. All right. The snipers have acted. Man. They're going to pass these Spider-Bots. They're just going to patrol around some more over there. Argent is bleeding. It's probably not a big deal. The hordes of harvesters continue to chew on the tree. And, well, actually, we'll do them later. They're really cool. The web shields wiggle around. Other people do things. The spider... Oh, man, this is going to be continually nasty here. You guys are really going to hate me.
Too late.
That's half the fun of having a DM that makes it difficult to you.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more. By the way, there's
he's
more.
like, it's part of the fun of having it. No, actually, no, I hate this guy. So, this Spider-Bot, I haven't managed to write on the Geek and Sons table yet, but don't worry. No, I'm kidding.
Be careful. Well, no, you may just say, it's autographed.
Oh, yeah. I put it like, no, so Spider Mothership, it's a D10. Half of 10 is 5.
Yes.
I say that. I say that for no reason. I just like to say math facts sometimes. Anyway, it squats down and creates 5 more Spider-Bots.
Okay.
Now, these Spider-Bots continue patrol around the area around the mothership.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They are good to go for this round. This set of Spider-Bots begin making their way to the tree, where Legacy is flying around the tree saving people. He saves some people, and I assume you're like flying back to the tree.
Yeah, going back to see if I can find the rest of the webbed humans.
That's great. That's just lovely. I love it. That's fantastic. They like having webbed people. That's a thing that they're into. It's one of their personal preferences. Not sure what you have against it. It's on
their Facebook profile.
Right. Yeah. And so they have a quick election, and they decide that 2 of the spider bots are going to shoot webs at you, and 3 of the spider bots are going to boost those 2 that are shooting webs at you. So these 2 are going to boost this one. And they get a 6 and a 2, which is a +2 and a +1. And this one gets a +1. So now you're getting webbed for, oh man, that's a 7, so that's a 2. Oh. And you're getting webbed for, there's a 1 and a 2 added to this. You're getting webbed for also a 2. This is great. This is great. So you get both of these cards. So you're flying along, doing anything. When you take the YouTube preview link out of a video, it's just you going. Yeah. So you're double webbed. This seems familiar. Sticky. But yeah. So that all 5 of these bots have acted. There are 2 things left in the scene. One's the scene tracker. On the scene tracker's turn, it merely checks itself off. No big deal. And that's the way the scene tracker advances. However, there are certain other abilities, other actions, other villains, and things like that that can advance the scene tracker, which is bad. Because if the scene tracker goes through green into yellow, then yellow into red, and to the end of the thing, that's the end. The scene can go to out. Just like you guys can go from green to yellow to red to out, the scene can go to out. It is catastrophic when that happens. Right. It is frequently a game over or something equally bad. So, all right, so I mentioned this because the Horde of Harvesters chew away on the tree. And you see, because you're near the tree and looking at it, you're kind of busy, and you see some ground. But you see that the Horde of Harvesters are beginning to cut away at the bark of the tree with their torches, with their laser cutting eyes. And as they do so, the tree kind of starts to shake and rumble, and that rumbling of the tree kind of fills the whole scene. They're going to mark off the scene tracker one more time, and you are all into the yellow zone now. You all act as in the yellow zone because the scene itself has entered the yellow zone as the Horde of Harvesters begin their demolition.
Right.
Some things that you are aware of is that all of the spider bots have the little robot brains on their torsos, on the chassis, and that when you had earlier detected the signal, that it was coming from roughly this direction. So it might be somewhere in this area now. But anyway, they've all acted. Ah, man, a thing I could do now. It's the new round. The Horde of Harvesters are just gone, so everything refreshes, including you, fine folks. And they can pass it to whoever they want to. We'll pass it to Argent Adept. We'll pass it to some webbed human shields. We won't pass it to Spider Mothership just yet. That's excessively rude. We'll even pass it to a scene tracker. Let's just knock some things off of the charts. And then, I'm not history's greatest monster. Absolute Zero. How are you feeling?
You know, I've had better days, it turns out.
It's true. It's true. But worse as well.
I've had worse days as well.
Your whole suit isn't broken yet.
Only the regulators the least of your problems.
See, I think I'm a little less Wraith, a little more Deadpool in this.
So proximity-wise, is there a group of spider bots that I'm particularly near after my fall?
After your fall. So you're not far from the base of the tree. So to kind of set the scene here, we've got essentially 4 different areas that things are happening, and one of them is on top of the roof with the snipers. One of them is where Argent Adept and the spider bots are. But then the other 2 areas are very close to each other, and the primary 2 areas, which is the base of the hill the tree is on, which has the spider mothership and some spider bots, and the top of the hill the tree is on, which is the tree, the Horde of Harvesters, the web human shields up in the tree, and the group of 5 spider bots that are patrolling around the bottom of the tree. So you're very close to either these 5, or pretty close to these 5 and Mom.
Right.
You're further from the top of the roof, but, you know, who wants to go on the top of a roof?
Yeah.
And you're not that far from Argent Adept, but you're much closer to these things.
Okay. So I would like to use my Sub-Zero Atmosphere, which hinders any number of targets using cold.
Okay.
And as many as I can get by standing kind of in the middle of them.
All right. Here's the deal. You can stand in the middle of these 2 groups and get both of these groups, or you can come a little bit closer to these and get this whole group and the Mom. Either or. She's far enough back, these things have moved on from her, that you can't get all 3 of these cards.
Yep.
But I'll give you the Mom in a group or 2 groups. Your choice.
I would like to freeze up Mom and this group.
Mom and friends. Friends for all. Okay, so what are we doing here?
So I'm using my cold die,
Sure.
which is 12-sider. And I'm cool under pressure. I just like stand up
Yeah.
and step in between a giant spider mothership and its horde of babies,
Yep.
and just start freezing everything.
Sure. That sounds like a great idea. It can't possibly go wrong.
Can't. Definitely not with a 4 roll.
And you get to use your max die, right?
I do.
Oh, gross. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Nice.
Oh, man. Oh.
He's absolutely
Whoa.
fabulous.
That kind of fun I will accept.
Just nothing to do with the cold aspect.
No.
Yeah, you did not go for the low-hanging cool fruit. Not even a thing. Nobody says cool fruit.
They do now. Hey guys, cool fruit.
All right, so that seemed okay. What do you want to do?
I'm going to choose the spider mothership to go next.
That's fantastic. The spider mothership is actually pretty well pleased with the number of babies it has in this world. It's like, I could make more babies. I can always make more babies. That's my job as a spider mom ship. Mothership's a bit formal for spider mom ship, but it doesn't like the fact that it's feeling cold. So it's going to actually kind of try to stab at you with one of its giant stabby legs. And its legs aren't the stabby sharp things that its baby has. It's rather more like a bludgeoning pillar of steel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Is that all? That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. So it's gonna try to stab at you. Now it's a D10, and I will go ahead and point out. I was saving this for later, but I didn't want anybody to be too horrified when they found out. This spider mothership is not a minion, or rather, it's a special type of minion. It's a lieutenant. Lieutenants are a thing I mentioned earlier, but did not explain. They still are governed by a single die. When they attack or do anything, they roll their die and use that number for what they do. And when they're attacked, they roll a save. The key difference is that when they're attacked, they save in a different way. So if you attack a lieutenant and it succeeds on its save, it takes no damage and it's fine. If it fails its save, it's degraded a die size. So they're much harder to get rid of. Additionally, they frequently have more dangerous, more complex abilities. And the spider mothership's ability is to make an amount of babies as its action equal to half its die size. But its die size is 10, and it's going to roll a 6. It slams at you, but the ice makes its slam less effective, and you only take the 2 damage.
I go to 11. Not quite red.
Still fine. You'll be fine. And that is Spider Mothership's turn. And all these babies that are right here. These other babies that are real close. Oh, man. I like a dramatic cliffhanger. We'll come back to them. We're going to go back to a rooftop.
Oh, dear.
Covered in smoke.
This one no longer has a -2. So, we've got a D6 and a D8 coming at you. And they're both just doing regular style attacks. So we've got a 4 and a 6. You take a 10 damage. How you doing?
I'm obviously going to react.
So you say that.
Sorry.
It's at the start of your turn that the reaction.
Okay.
And so you have not yet had another turn since your last turn.
No.
So you used your reaction at the start of your turn. That reaction will refresh.
Got it.
But the reaction is currently used up. So unfortunately, you are going to take the 10 damage.
I'm on 5.
But you're in the red zone now. You've got access to all your cool red abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun. The other 2 of the Spider-Bot snipers are going to fire, and they're going to both fire on Legacy because the Absolute Zero is kind of in this mix here. They don't want to risk hitting the Spider-Bots, and Wraith's not. They're not concerned about Wraith. So we've got 2 shots coming at Legacy, who roll a 2 and a 5 for a total of 7 damage to Legacy. Okay, man, what am I doing?
7 damage, so it's 29.
Remember
So you had a 2 and a 5, which become a 1 and a 4. So you only take the 5 damage, so you're down to 24. You have so many hit points.
It's in the yellow.
More.
In the yellow.
You are in the yellow zone. That's good.
Well, because of the scene, so the is better.
Oh yeah, so this is even better.
That's true. So you gain 1 more hit point out of each of those, essentially. So you're down to 26. Yes, good point. The scene does make that.
Same team, bros.
Yeah.
Get the rules lawyer on your team.
All right, so you've got a bit of a situation here, team.
Yeah.
You've got 10 spider bots, 5 of which look a little chilly. And these guys are going to do some more patrolling. It's fine. So let's see. These are going to continue patrolling the tree. They're not too concerned about what's going over here yet. These spider bots, though, are going to attempt to web up their foe that is attacking Mom. They think Mom's got this. Mom has the ability to take out this straggler here, but we can help out with the webbing. And they're going to do a similar thing to when Legacy got webbed in the sky, where 2 of them are going to web at you, and 3 of them are going to try to boost. So this one's boosting here at a -4, so he does nothing. These are both boosting here at -4, so one of them gives a boost of 1. So both of these, this has a +1 to boost, or to web. They both get through. They only give you a webbing of, they only web you up to a -1 each, but you do have 2 web -1s on you.
The webbed episode.
Yeah, this is a pretty mild web. It's not like quite, it's not full on webbed with an exclamation point. It's just web.
Just web.
And it's not like so much as to be like a worldwide web. It's just
It's a local area web.
yeah.
Internet. There you go.
Okay.
You're on dial-up.
All right, and with that, speaking of a person that got shot on a roof, let's pass it to Wraith.
Okay, I'm going to take a risky action.
I love it. Now's the time for risks.
Yep, I am going to be using my utility belt. So boost yourself using gadgets. Use your max die. That bonus is persistent and exclusive. Attack with your min die.
Okay.
So
the only thing that is a trick here is that risky actions cannot be used in conjunction with abilities.
Okay.
Risky actions can only be used in conjunction with basic abilities. That said, that's a really good action to take.
Yeah.
Or if you're concerned about your health and well-being, you might want to slip into shadows to defend yourself. Either one is a solid choice. Because getting yourself a permanent boost is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
But
well, I think from this one, I have seen what's on the rooftop.
Sure.
This is Bad Day Biscuits.
Yeah.
I'm going to book it to the opposite side of the building.
Yeah.
Do the swan dive off and use the grappling hook to swing away.
Sure. So you can even attack on your way out.
Yeah, I'm going to hook the damaged spider bot on the way past.
Sure. All right. So go for the grappling hook move there.
Okay. So grappling hook is attack using ranged combat, then remove a physical bonus or penalty, hinder a target using your min die.
Sure.
So it is using ranged combat, so that's D8. It's a gadget, so that's D8, and I'm on D8 because of status.
Are you in the red zone?
Oh, I'm on 5, so yes, it's a D6.
Ooh.
Damn.
All right. So you're attacking the D6 sniper bot?
Yes. For mid dice
for 5. It's got a chance, but not a good
two.
enough chance. You destroy it. Well done.
And
you can end up anywhere in the scene, wherever you want.
Yeah, I am going to swing down and away, out of sight of everything for a moment.
Yeah.
Because next round, I think I'm going to try and do a little bit of healing with a gadget of some form. Maybe pull out some bandages or something.
All right. Okay.
Might be a wise idea.
Sure. Okay. Who do you want to pass it to?
I will pass it to Legacy.
All right. Okay, so I'm here next to some of these flailing websites and there's spiders everywhere and everything like that.
Sure.
With this game, can you sort of like relay information through speech just quickly between characters?
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. You definitely can all hear each other, no problem.
Fantastic. So obviously he heard what Wraith had said about the bots and the weird thing on the bottom of them, and he says, "We need to find out what's controlling this. Is it the mothership, Wraith?" I pass it on to see if she can work something out on that case.
And you don't need to like wait until her turn to respond. You guys can just chat.
Oh, awesome.
Just chat.
Yeah.
Like if you have a lengthy conversation, then I might be like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
But like, talk
Snatches
amongst
of
yourselves.
conversation.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah.
Also, the spider mothership hits really hard.
And so with that in mind, Legacy's going to make his way over towards where the mothership is.
Sure.
But he's not going to use his action to sort of attack it. He's going to try and... Do we have access to be able to call in like extra support? So with my radio, can he be able to like get in the authorities involved?
So I don't know what a bunch of cops are going to do about this. Like that's the thing.
Ping.
Yeah, you might.
And
be
of course, maybe Legacy wouldn't do that. Legacy wouldn't do that, would he?
Well, I could also say, like, I've pointed out where the Argent Adept is, so if there's someone who can pull him out of the
That's true.
rubble or whatever.
Getting the Argent Adept up and on his feet certainly couldn't hurt the situation.
Cool.
So I mean, I think getting Argent Adept up is a good call. The other option would be to try to flying smash a whole bunch of these. Like it's the same sort of situation. You can hit all these and all these. Yeah. But Dave raises an excellent point. Argent Adept is a very powerful, if somewhat haughty, ally. So.
But knowing that information, I'm thinking that we need a little bit more help in this situation.
Sure.
He's going to go over to where Argent Adept is, and I'm going to try and lift up the stones from around him and try and free him from the rubble.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Is there anything that maybe I could use that would boost me in this situation? Do you think?
Do either of your principles apply here?
I guess I might. Do you reckon?
They would be on the front here, yeah?
No. The principal.
Someone else younger already tried and failed.
Nobody's tried to.
But the Argent Adept did try to destroy all these spider bots.
All right, I'll give you that.
Awesome.
Argent Adept is younger than Legacy.
Cool. So I guess coming over here would be a strength check to try and lift things up.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're going to try and use my America's Finest thing, trying to save another hero and get them back into the fight.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the yellow zone as well, so that's going to be strength.
All right, let's see how we're doing here. What comes up here?
So that is a 9. A 9?
Yeah, your max tie, yeah.
Fantastic. So a 9 out of that.
Oh, all right. So with that, you succeed. Without
do I get affected by the web thing? Is that would that?
Oh, the webs do apply.
So unfortunately, I'm trying to do it. I'm lifting it up, so it only goes down to a 5.
Yeah. So you succeed, but with the minor twist.
No, then becomes 7.
2 minus 2.
Oh, 2 minus 2. God.
Someone else has 2 minus 1s.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, my minor twists are which whippersnapper has just showed you up. Oh, okay. So
or
the minor twist, your immediate need to help someone else causes you to drop the ball in your personal life. You know what? I'm going to leave this one up to you.
Okay.
Because this seems like quite a tight situation. So
sure.
To see what sort of
Sure. So you managed to get all the rebel off of Argent Adept. Yeah. He is back up. He's not on his feet, but you've got him uncovered, and he's groggy. And he's like, help! I just need. You've saved him. He's no longer in danger of dying in this situation. But there's one more thing you could do if you want to. There's an optional success you get out of this. That on someone's turn, they could do something to help him get up on his feet and join the fray. And in fact, he would do that very thing. The minor twist in this situation, you've gone over and you've done this thing, and you've dealt with helping Argent Adept out. But in the process of doing so, the spider bots that are near, they took notice of you, and they're definitely turning and advancing on you right now with great intent to harm.
Okay.
So you've
Legacy's used to that now.
You've drawn a lot of attention to yourself. So,
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see if they call in any more aid.
Yes,
so
indeed.
The radio lights are blinking. Anyway, probably not a problem. Who do you want to pass it to?
Well, I only have the option of what's here on the table now, don't I?
Anything not turned, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your options here. You've got a horde of harvesters, and you have a scene tracker.
So I reckon we're going to go to seeing what happens with the horde of harvesters.
They chew on the scenery.
Yeah.
Scene tracker takes off, and the horde of harvesters take off.
Badly.
It's going bad very quickly. Yes.
Yeah.
So that said, after they both take their actions, everything refreshes, including all of you. And they're going to pass it to you, Legacy.
Okay, so I think I'm going to try and use my motivational charge here.
Okay.
That is an excellent idea.
Yes.
I like this plan.
So, my motivational charge, attack using leadership. All nearby allies with their health in the yellow or red zone recover health equal to their min die.
Sure. Wraith, you went off to a place that you described as somewhere out of sight.
Yes.
Are you somewhat nearby the Argent Adept, though, would you say?
Some would say there's a little bit of a fence with a hole in it.
Right.
I can see
like,
through.
I'm just curious. You don't even need to be seen, but are you in a place where, are you close enough to Legacy that if Legacy said, "For America," and charged a robot, you might hear it and feel inspired?
Yes, because if you imagine, currently I am mid-swing down towards the ground, flying around the edge of a building with the grappling hook currently poking out the back of the head of a spider sniper.
That's great. So I'm just curious if you're nearby.
I would be nearby,
Just feeling, wondering about that.
Yes.
And then you're not that far away. You're just on the other side of a tree.
I can see him fighting.
I can hear him.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Good enough.
Everyone can hear a Legacy, so yeah.
All right, just curious.
He looks down on the ground and he sees Agent Argent down there as well.
Yeah.
Who's clearly in the red, I imagine, as well, probably.
Sure.
Well. And he's be like, "Get up, Argent, we need your help. All the people of Megalopolis need your help." And he's going to blast towards the mothership can and go straight for it.
All right.
As he goes forward as an inspirational blur of white and blue. So there we go. So yeah.
Some red in there too.
Yeah, some red in there too. Just a little bit of red in the background. Yeah, so yeah.
All right, so make your attack using leadership.
Cool. So I guess I'm flying towards it, so I'm going to use a D8 for that one, I reckon. And then it's, what was it? It was
leadership,
so
it's a D10.
And then I'm in the yellow. Well,
we're in the yellow.
Everything's in the yellow.
Well, so except for people that are in the red.
That's true. Hopefully you guys are going to be okay.
So roll 3 very high numbers.
Oh.
All right. So your attack is a 6.
Yes.
And then all heroes regain the 2, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So the attack is a 6, and the spider mothership is going to roll against that 6. Yeah. A 1.
Yeah.
That damage, you fly in there and you crunch into that mothership.
Ooh.
It's motivational indeed. It damages the mothership and puts these 2 back on their feet. And you know what? I liked your explanation.
Awesome.
This is a challenge I was looking to have overcome. But you throw in a couple of points of healing into Arjun is what he needs, and he kind of gets up and he's like, I will get up legacy. I will. And he is now a thing that can be passed to in the scene. He's no longer the challenge of save Arjun Adept, but rather it's just Arjun Adept, who is a useful ally that can be passed to. You can pass it to him, you can pass it to any of my friends, or you can pass it to either of these 2.
I reckon that because Absolute Zero is facing down these things heroically.
He is.
Pass it over to him.
As opposed to when he was facing down in the dirt from fall. It's a different kind of facing
But
down.
I didn't see that bit.
That
Yeah,
could've
so
been
I
heroic.
seemed to be heroic. So
You
I
don't know,
went to
that could've
Absolute
been-
Zero to see if he can finish some things off. So yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure. All right. Can you finish
Um,
some things off, Absolute Zero?
I can start some things.
yeah. So you said something about a transmitter or something that we should be looking for.
Yeah, from the spider bot, there's one on the base of them, and the signal was coming from this generalized area. So perhaps it's the big thingy.
Do you want me to look on the big thing? So I'm in its face.
Yeah.
I can try and find something if you want, or I can just freeze everything up around us.
Have a search if you want. Have a look at it, because I mean, like, my plan is the next thing I'm doing is I'm charging forward. I'm going to be grabbing my utility belt and see if I can find some form of nano strength enhancer in there to pump into myself.
I reckon that you could try and see if we can find a way to shut this thing down, Zero. That might be the best way to save these civilians.
I don't know if that's my area of expertise, but we'll see what we can do.
If Wraith can do it, we'll leave it to her. But if you need to freeze these things and keep yourself safe, go for it, man.
So what I want to do is I want to freeze the spider mothership, but kind of freeze it upwards, like have an ice column
Sure.
come up so we can all kind of look around it.
Okay.
And just like...
Yeah. So what is the action you're taking? Are you attacking it? Are you hindering it? Or are you attempting an overcome?
I think I'm attempting an overcome.
Okay, that was. I want to know what your goal here is certainly to put everybody in a better position to do this. But are you also attempting to discern something at the same time? And you are. And okay. And do you have a principle that you're using here?
So we established it's coming out of the lake, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of water in the lake.
Is there? You say a lake. Sorry, it's a river. Still
There's
full of
a
water.
lot of water
It is a
river.
water-based river. Yes.
Oh, one of those water-based rivers. Yeah.
Ah, one of them.
It's pretty chilly this time of year too, is from what I imagine.
It's a bit.
Yeah. So I would like to use the principle of cold.
That makes sense because you're drawing on the cold of the water there and saying you just
utilizing.
get a little cold.
Yeah, and then causing it to
That's
flat.
great. That's great. You're a little bit webbed. It's going to mess you up, but not terribly webbed.
Yeah. A little too webbed for my taste, but so I'm going to use D12 for cold, D8 creativity because I'm attempting
I love that.
position it appropriately, and I'm just still barely in the yellow. 4D.
All right, so your max is a 5, as is your min, and also your mid. So which one would you like to use in this? I'll let you use any of the 3. I'm very
You
giving.
know, I've got this D12, I might as well use it.
So you use that, and you're webbed of 2, so that dropped it down to a 3. So your options here are to fail. You could choose to fail, of course, or you could succeed with a major twist.
I believe I will succeed with a major twist.
That sounds like a great call. That sounds like a great call.
Yeah. How is your suit preventing you from functioning as a hero?
Oh.
I think I've poured everything I have into this, and it's actually causing my actual cold powers really through this to kind of short out.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. You're kind of running out of cold, and your suit is realizing that like it's got all sorts of warnings and sensors, and the suit's like emergency.
Ignore.
If you and you're like
X.
You're like ignore. It's like no, cannot ignore. Too much. And your cold is going to be reduced to die size for the rest of the encounter.
Okay.
So your cold is now just a D10. But you do succeed, and with succeeding, you discover that in the base of this spider mothership exists a thing that I've been holding on to for some time here, the electroneural link. You have found the electroneural link. And this is a blinking transmitter that is affixed to the spider mothership. And whereas like with the spider bots, it's just kind of like a little bulb on the bottom of them, this is like built into the bottom of it. It's clearly the whole thing there, but you've discovered it, and you're like, man, that sure looks familiar. It seems like it might be something that you care about.
Guys, I found a blinky thing.
All right.
Destroy the blinky thing.
Who would you like to pass it to?
We haven't sent it to Argent Adept yet, have
It's true.
we?
No, he's still good to go.
That is actually what I would like to see what he's got to do here.
Argent Adept stands up and he unfurls his cape and he raises his arms in the air, and then he goes, oh wow, oh yeah, no, that's still real bad. That's not good at all. You know what? We need some healing. And he brings his hands together, and a clap of energy, of green and yellow energy, bursts out of him, and he regains 6 health, as do all of you.
Awesome.
So with that, Argent Adept has taken his turn, and there's that minor twist we talked about earlier that's actually taken effect now. Legacy, those spider bots that were near Argent Adept don't really care about Argent Adept, even with the clapping and the energy. Nope, they care about you.
They don't like his percussive skills.
You went over here and you went for the punching. They're chasing right after you, and these spider bots, right?
More Woodwind fans.
Yeah.
So.
And these spider bots, they are aware. They are getting signals from the spider mothership, and the spider mothership's been watching you. And it's aware, man, every time somebody hits away at Legacy, he seems to not really take all that much. We need like one big hit to get in there. So these 2 of the spider bots begin projecting hard light onto their friend, giving him a +1 and a +1, and the other one shoots a laser at you for an impressive total of 6.
-1.
-2, you're in the yellow zone.
-2, so in the yellow zone.
You only take the 4.
Yeah, 28.
Wow, because you were back up to full. Good job, Arjun, up to the healing and the wow. Okay, between you and wow. Okay, great. You poor thing. So in other terrible news, we've got 3 snipers. We've got 10 spider bots. Oh boy. Wraith, how you doing?
Well, I've just landed on the ground. I'm now hopefully looking at the mother bot.
That's true.
I think right now I need to take a moment and reach into my utility belt. I'm going to pick out a nano strength boost pack, which I'm going to jab into my bicep.
So I would normally say, like, of course you can do whatever you want to, but instead I'm going to say, no, you shouldn't do that.
Okay.
Because I will give you some insider knowledge because I've been just given a time. What if instead you did some sort of overcome to deal with this electroneural link that's definitely controlling all of the robots in this whole scene?
You're a technical expert. Get in there and save things.
You don't need health. Expert? You don't need health. You need
Well, I was actually
victory.
aiming for strength.
You sure?
But if you're going to go that route, fine. I am still, actually, I'm at 13 now. I can't use what I was going to use, which was going to be my favorite knife. But I can't use that now.
No, because we need you to make an overcome here.
Okay.
You've got to disable the device. A knife's not going to disable a device. You need to take out this electroneural link. How are you going to do it?
Well, if I...
You could probably use your principle of stealth to sneak up on it so it doesn't see you coming.
Yeah.
Because the green abilities that are on your green zone, go back to your other page.
Yeah.
The green abilities are at the end of your turn. Your principle of the detective is about hidden information, but this information is uncovered. But the principle of stealth allows you to do some extra sneaking.
Yeah, why not? I'll go for the principle of stealth then.
All right, so you're sneaking up to this thing, and what are you doing? You're going to sneak up to this bottom of this robot, and what are you going to do to disable this?
I'm going to have a quick rummage in my backpack. Hopefully I have some form of electrified knife.
Sure, of course, yeah. So what gadget
doesn't carry taser blades?
Sure. So what power, what quality, what status? Here we go.
Well, if it's a throwing knife, electrified,
that
D10.
Sounds good. That sounds good.
Range combat for a D8.
No, you got. How about you use a stealth on that because you're sneaking up.
Stealth, so D10.
Yeah.
And then D8 for being in the yellow.
Right, and you get to use your max eye because of the stealth.
So overcome to infiltrate somewhere or avoid detection. Use your max die. And each of your allies gains 0 points.
So you're going to go for that.
So max die. Let's see what we get.
There you go.
An 8.
An 8. You succeed entirely, and upon driving the electrified knife into the electroneural link, the spider mothership begins slumping to the ground, and all of the individual spider bots shut down. At this point, the things that are left to do, you need to clean the horde of harvesters off the tree. You've got to save the people. But you know what? You're heroes. You can do that. Also, we're out of time, and I'd love to say some final few words before we kill it. But you definitely, by discovering the electroneural link, disabling it, and destroying these robots, you have saved the day.
Yeah, Zero, I'd like to say I'm sorry for the building incident and the motorcycle. Please do not hit me off camera.
Ow.
Then at this point, Arjun Adams like, oh my gosh, thank you for saving me. Also, while I was unconscious, a fellow hero, a friend of ours, the Visionary, you all know her, she's a powerful telepath. She contacted me in my mind while I was unconscious and warned me of dangerous things that are happening just outside Rook City with some demons from the void entering this realm. Can you go take care of that? Because I need to pass out again. And he slumps back down to the ground. Probably take care of that in the next issue. And now that we're at the end of this issue, you've all done some things where you've used your principles that are principle of the hero, or principle of cold, or principle of stealth, or detective, and these things say you gain a hero point. Whenever you gain a hero point, on your character sheet, there's this top chart of hero points that are right here.
Yes.
This line here.
Nice and clear.
There, yeah. This line here of hero points.
Yes.
There you go. You can fill those in. You can get a maximum of 5 of those over the course of a game, and you guys have definitely used your principles at least 5 times, so you would have gotten all 5.
Yeah.
Between sessions, you can spend those hero points to get these hero point rewards, which are bonuses of a +1 to +4 range, which cost that many hero points. You can pick up a +4 and a +1, or say a 2 and a 3, or 2 2s and a 1, whatever. Yep. You can pick up these bonuses and use those in future situations where you're like, oh, if you had, say, had a gadget that was giving you a +2 that you really liked and you wanted to hang on to it, like, you know what, I'm going to keep using this +2 gadget. I'll check it off as one of my hero point rewards. Or other things you can get out of a scene where you're like, oh, I was looking for some sort of thing. Sure enough, you find the thing, you give it a point value. So that's the way hero points are used. They're kind of like micro leveling, micro XP in between sessions.
Yeah.
That's a very, very cool idea. I have to say, I have really enjoyed this role-playing game.
It's been really good fun.
Light, it's so narratively descriptive.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, it's... Like me, I love to play for comedy. That's kind of why I... Not, what? Whenever he was on behind the bike, it was just, you know what? I want to see what happens here. Whee!
Yeah.
Bye!
No, you guys did a great job.
Yeah,
I'm definitely one of those people that loves my role-playing games, and that ability to do that cooperative storytelling element with the DM or the storyteller and doing that together as a group is really, really important to me. Yeah. And I think it's really cool to see that in a superhero setting as well, which is very cool.
Well, thank you. That's the big thing, is we wanted to make sure that everybody at the table was an active participant in many ways.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was an absolute blast. I definitely want to play more of this whenever I get back to Ireland. Definitely. And seeing how the actual GMing works, I think it is incredibly simple, and I'm definitely wanting to give GMing a go. I had actually considered doing it for this, and unfortunately I didn't get time to learn.
Well, you didn't have enough spare time. What are you doing? You're just sitting around not learning a new game every week and doing videos about it every week. Come now.
But after having played this, I see how simple it is, and I do think I'm going to try and get a group together for it when I get home.
Well, if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you very much. All right, all done?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you for actually running us through it. It was a fantastic
It was absolutely really cool. Yeah.
Okay, everybody, I think we are going to wrap up for the evening. Hopefully you enjoyed that role-playing session of the Sentinels RPG game. If you want to pick it up, it's not out just yet.
It is out. The starter kit is out. So I'll say some pitching words. The starter kit is available now. You can purchase it. It looks like that. It's right there. It's been on the screen the whole time. That's amazing. There's a clue that we overlooked. So it's available in stores. It's been out since the end of last year.
Okay.
And we wanted to put the starter kit out before the core rulebook because we wanted to give people a chance. There's a lot of Sentinel comics. Sentinel's the Multiverse, the card game that we made in 2011, has a pretty active and large fandom.
I have played through that card game. It's very
cool. Good. And I didn't want to just make a game and be like, hey guys, you've bought the Sentinels card game, just buy this one, no questions. You know, I wanted to give people a chance to experience it first to make that decision for themselves. So we put out the starter kit, and it's been doing very well. People have been very excited about it. We sold a bunch at the show, and Dave has been doing demos all week, and it's been great. And so that's available now. Go get it at your friendly local game store or wherever you buy games.
Yeah, or come here to UK Games Expo tomorrow and pick it up off the stand.
That's true. Now, in July, mid-July, July 17th, something like that, we are running a Kickstarter for the core game. And that Kickstarter is going to be for a large full color, hardcover, impressive core game with lots of things that we've been arduously writing for many months now. We're very excited about it. We're very proud of the work that we've done on it, and it's going to be great. And how well that Kickstarter does also determines like what other supplemental things we might make, and perhaps some cool GM kit stuff, and all sorts of exciting plans. Stay tuned, there'll be more information. Go to thegreaterthangames.com for information. You can follow us on Twitter at GTGames LLC. And you can follow me on Twitter at GTGChristopher, and you can follow Dave on Twitter at Dave the Game.
Dave the Game.
Dave the Game. That is the most epic Twitter name.
He's the game.
Yes.
We've been playing Dave for the last 4 hours. So.
All right, well, I will say this. Once that Kickstarter launches, I most likely will jump in as a backer.
Excellent. Well, we
so
love
that is the highest compliment I can pay.
I would say, yeah.
Everybody, hopefully you've enjoyed it. We will move on here, and that will be the end of our live streaming for today.